Hey everybody, it's me, Melody. Welcome to my stream. If you haven't already, hit the like, subscribe, and share button. I just want to give a special thanks to everybody who got me to 1K. This Saturday, I'll be having a celebration, so make sure you guys are all there. But I have a special guest. Well, actually, special two guests. Hi, Sister George. You there?
Oh, girl, I had my mic turned down. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
What's
We're
going
so
on?
Nothing much. Had to run some errands, walk my dog, get everything settled before I came on here. How about you? What's going on with you?
Pretty much the same, trying to get myself situated so I could get up out of here. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Good. Well, I'm very, very, very excited for this interview because you have no idea. You ladies are one of my favorite shows to watch.
One of your favorites should
Mhm.
be the favorite. Oh my gosh.
Well, yeah, you're my favorite, but you're in my top five.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah. But I like
Mm-hmm.
that. You know what I like? I like the fact that you ladies give a woman's perspective in the Black manosphere.
Really?
Yeah. So I want to ask you, what brought you to YouTube? Hey, Concrete. Before you answer that, hey, Concrete.
Hi, 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 hi.
Hi. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you, ladies?
Good.
Doing good. Can't complain. How about you?
I'm good. I just wrapped up work, so yeah, I'm doing good. It's almost the weekend, so I'm fantastic.
Right. Same here.
Good, 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 good. Me too.
Well, what do you ladies have planned for the weekend?
Moving, and more moving. So, I'm over it and I'm ready to get somewhere and sit down and chill. But other than that, that's pretty much all I have going on this weekend. Maintenance, romance.
Congratulations on you and Curlin getting a new house, and congratulations on your marriage.
Thank you. Gosh, thank
Absolutely,
you.
all that.
Yes.
I'm excited for you to be done moving. To be honest, I don't have too much
Back
going
to your
on.
wait. Oh, okay.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was asking so we can get back to our normal roles.
Wait, you're Borgin. I really didn't hear what you said.
Wait, can y'all
Wait,
hear
Yeah,
me
yeah, you
now?
was borging out for me too.
no, I
Okay,
can
well,
hear
Yeah.
okay. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. I was saying so we can get back to our normal roles because I've never been this busy in my life. Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's gonna be busy
You
all
put
the
you to
time
work,
now that
sis.
you're married. Hmm.
Mhm.
So, what about you, Concrete? What you have for this weekend?
Um, I don't have too much. So today is my youngest daughter's birthday. So I had
Aw.
I got up like early and like took like mimosas and donuts, and she called me last night like, "Mom, I want a lasagna." And I was like, "I'm not making you a lasagna. You should have told me before." But
Aw.
I knew I was surprising her today anyways, with
Yeah.
balloons and stuff. So I also went over there early this morning and cooked lasagna. And then I came back and finished my work day. But we're celebrating tomorrow before they head out to Miami. They have a flight tomorrow evening, but we're gonna celebrate her birthday actually tomorrow. So
Oh,
that should be
happy
fun.
birthday to her. How old is she now?
She's 21.
Nice. All right, so let's get to this interview. So, what brought you ladies to YouTube, specifically the Manosphere?
Well, I was originally so okay, cuz mine is kind of funny. I ran across the manosphere like a long time ago. Maybe like the mid two that like 2010 7, 8, something like that. But it was early on. And I remember O'Shea and Steve. And I would say that we kind of had a little altercation. They were talking about single mothers and stuff. And I was like, it's not this serious, or probably a little bit later than that. So my dates may be way off. And I went on about my business. I think that was like my first encounter with the manosphere. And then I ended up going on to Jason Black's show, from Jason Black to Nicole Michelle, from Nicole Michelle to Obsidian, from Obsidian to BGS, and the rest is history. You know, that's where I met Concrete, kind of.
Yeah. What did you meet Curlin in the manosphere?
No, actually, Curlin and I were off of Facebook, and so we actually met from Facebook, and we were in a relationship probably about 6 months before we announced to the manosphere. So we were going on about a good year before we actually came out and was like, hey, or made it official on for the manosphere's sake. 6 months, something like that.
Right. So he was here first before you, pretty much.
Yep.
Okay. How about you, Concrete? What brought you here to the manosphere? What's a Black YouTube?
I was somewhat familiar with the space. Most of my, I guess, interaction on YouTube was like, I would watch like a lot of lifestyle channels, like Black lifestyle channels. But I had never kind of like started to engage in like the Manos dialogue with like people from the manosphere until maybe like 4.5, close to 5 years ago, when I started frequenting O'Shea's channel. I don't know like how I came across it, but I came across it and I started frequenting O'Shea's channel, and I also started frequenting a couple other people from the space. Sub-Zero's channel. He had a very, very, very small channel, like hardly very few subs on his channel. I would like go in and kind of listen to him because I enjoyed his content. And then I eventually saw like Nyla on his panel, like maybe a year and a half after I started listening to him. And I also used to listen to a girl, her name is Allie. I used to listen to a lot of her content. So I saw Nyla on his panel at some point. And I subbed to her page, and I think that's where I first saw Danny. And then I started frequenting BGS for women, and I think that is when like I started like dialoguing more with Danny.
Right. So, Concrete, what was your initial like take on the manosphere? Because you seem kind of like B1 pro-Black. This doesn't really seem like your cup of tea. So what made you really want to stay here?
Well, to be completely honest, so O'Shea's channel, I just took it as like strictly entertainment. Like it was just literally like for laughs. But Sub-Zero is conscious as well, and I really enjoyed his content. So there are conscious people within the manosphere. I think that is probably why I was drawn to Nyla's channel, because like of the consciousness, that connection. I've listened to like Black conscious people on YouTube for some time, in addition to the lifestyle channels like the Sonettas and stuff like that. I would listen to their content, but
Right.
like I came across Sub-Zero from O'Shea's channel, and he was a conscious Black man. And so I initially, like O'Shea, I just thought that was like something funny. Like I have a quirky sense of humor, so it was just something to laugh at. And I started to feel like, okay, well, some of these people have very inflammatory opinions. Maybe I can change their mind. And foolishly, that's how I started to engage in dialogue with folks.
Oh, I get what you're saying. So you're basically doing your platform to change minds, pretty much.
Well, not now. Well, that's
not
not why
now.
we started our like that was in the beginning. yeah, I was just foolish in the beginning and thought that by engaging in conversations, hopping on Obsidian's panel and, having conversations with some of these people, maybe I could change their mind. But
Right.
by the time we got to the point where we decided we wanted to start our own platform, we really wanted to just have a space where we could have the dialogue, have the conversation, and kind of work towards bridging the gap by way of having those hard conversations between men and women.
Interesting. All right. Well, do you ladies consider yourselves red pill? We'll start with Sister George.
At one point, I thought I was, and when you start to hear like, I guess heavier people, that's really, really into it, then it kind of makes me think that no, I'm not really red pill. I don't really think that I'm blue pill because I think that I have a more a grasp on reality, um, more so than a lot of people that I've come across. But I guess I would consider myself more so purple pill because like I believe in love and marriage and all that good stuff. And so I still get butterflies, there are a lot of people here that's heartened about life and stuff. And
Mhm.
I can say that I can see some aspects of what they're saying, but I do get the other side of it too. So I would say I was.
Interesting. This the first time, don't laugh at me, but this the first time I ever heard purple pill. I didn't know what pill that was, what it meant. I didn't know any of that. But that's really interesting.
Yeah, they have so
Child, I
many,
can't even keep
but
up with the pills.
Right. Exactly. I'm the same way, girl.
yeah.
So, what
I
about you?
definitely don't think I'm red pill. I don't think I'm red pill. I am like an extremely optimistic person. I am a person that I understand the reality of things. However, I heavily promote like Black family and community, and I am one of them people that is like optimistic and think that one day we can unify, and one day we'll be able to overcome the obstacles that we currently face, which would not be deemed as purple pill. I mean, red pill. They will probably say I'm blue pill, and I'm okay with that. I'm good with it.
Right, blue pill. So now I know what that means. But do you really think that things would change for us as Black people, Concrete?
I don't think in my lifetime, probably not in my daughter's lifetime. But at some point, my goal is just to make strides towards like things changing for us. I won't see
Mhm.
it though. Not at the rate we going. Ooh, Lord, we moving in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's gonna take some time and some work to change how the Black community is. But so is your platform a women's empowerment platform, or is it a male? Basically, is it a male platform, being it's in the manosphere? What do you consider it? Let's start with Concrete.
You go first. Oh, okay. Well, I don't consider our platform to be a woman's empowerment platform at all whatsoever. But on the flip side, we are not 100% supporters of everything that men hold to be true. I think that we are a pretty fairly objective space. Like we have our own opinions, and our opinions don't even always align. But I think that you will get some like if you listen to our content, you will hear us defending women, you will hear us supporting women and empowering women to a degree, but you also hear us like vying for Black men. You also hear us calling out Black women as it relates to all of the deplorable behavior that they engage in. You also hear us, defending and taking up for and supporting Black men. So I think that it's just a very good balance between the two, but I wouldn't consider it male empowerment, nor would I consider it a space where we are 100% supporting the ideologies of men in this space.
Right, that's good to know because sometimes it does seem like you're leaning more towards another side than the other. Like even though it is in the Black manosphere, Sometimes it seems like you may be going towards the woman side of it. But then other times, you're right, it's a balance. And then other times it seems like you're
Yeah.
going to the men. So yeah,
But
it's
you know why, Melody?
Mhm.
Because and I think that's part of being balanced. We're in a space where there's not a lot of balance as it relates to, issues that are related to Black women. So as a result, I do oftentimes find myself being in a position where I'm trying to bring balance to conversations by saying, no, not all Black women get down like that. No, not all Black women, not all Black. So I do find myself constantly having to reiterate that not all Black women, and or say things that would be dissenting to what the men in this space believe. However, I am on Clubhouse more than I am on YouTube, and you hear the opposite in conversations because there's no balance on the flip side on Clubhouse. Everybody is placating to women.
Mhm.
Everybody is, doing the matriarchal thing. And as a result, you hear me like, but Black men also need advocating. Black men also need yada, yada, yada. So I think that you're right. It's possible that you do hear us doing more of that, specifically me. And the reason is because there's not a lot of balance in this space.
Right, exactly. And you're obviously the more pro-Black one. So, I mean, that's a good thing. I love the balance. That's what makes the show
True.
entertaining. This is why I watch it. So, what about you, Sister George?
I definitely wouldn't consider our space a male empowerment channel or a female empowerment channel. I think Concrete was right about us having balance. Now, this is what I've noticed about us doing topics in this space. When we do topics to where the topics are, I guess, male centered, um, I don't think we receive as much engagement as opposed to when we do topics that are pro woman, quote unquote, and that's for lack of better terms. Um, I think people engage more when we do those types of topics, and I think we've kind of found a lane, so to speak, because we're able to trigger thought and make people talk to us, and even if there are times where we are wrong in our premise or whatever, when you get guys that actually come up and they talk to us, I feel like they teach us a lot. And then the rhetoric we use is, I think we echo the sentiment of a lot of Black women. So when we come up there and we have this rhetoric and it is the sentiment of a lot of Black women, and the guys fight against our talking points, I actually think it's a win-win situation. Because me and Concrete, I feel like we know what we're doing when we come out with our topics and titles. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and I like the fact that you ladies play good cop, bad cop a lot. I love that. That's what awesome
She's a
painting.
bad cop.
Yeah. Do you agree with that? Do you think there's a bad cop, or you think you're the
You
good cop?
know what? I don't mind being the bad cop sometimes. I get
We
tired of
take
putting
turns.
on.
We take turns for sure.
Well, I get tired of putting on this crown of goodness and pick-meism. So I be like, take it off. Where is my do-rag and excuse me, where's my bonnet and Vaseline? What's up?
Okay,
So
Keisha. Definitely.
We
I would
take
definitely.
turns though. It's not all on her. That was kind of like an inside joke because in the beginning we used to say, "Oh, I'm the good one," and like so we would have this banter back and forth. But really and truly, I probably get a lot more flack, and it's because of me coming from a conscious angle, and they despise that in this space. So I think we take turns. It depends on the show. Sometimes I'm the bad person, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I mean, that's facts. But now don't get mad at me for this question. Do you ladies, since it's a balance, since you're for men and women, do you consider yourselves feminists or womenist? Be honest with me.
Oh, I'm neither one. I think I'm more so for the power of Black men, but like I said, when you come to your own self-actualization and you're able to be honest with yourself about your life and who you are as a person, it does not blind me to other people's bullshit. So I'm for men. I'm for the empowerment of men, hands down. There's no question to me. Do I think that men have areas for improvement? Of course. Women even more so. So it'll be like we can come and present arguments, like I said, from what we see other women, the sentiment that other women echo, especially Black women. And I like to see men demolish our arguments, especially if they have good arguments. And it's they make my job easier when I do go back to the sisterhood and I'm able to disseminate that information and actually use manosphere's talking points. It does make it that much easier because we'll hear a lot of the rhetoric and able to really be able to go back and forth and actually win arguments and to kind of help women see the error of their ways. So I think it's beneficial, but I wouldn't consider us feminist or womanist at all.
Yeah, because I hear a lot of people calling you guys feminists, when certain people, I'm sure you hear it too. Like when you go on certain men's platforms, they want to call you feminist, but I don't get that either. How about you,
That's
Concrete?
laughable. To me, that's laughable. I am absolutely not a feminist, nor am I a womanist. I actually find that insulting. I am for the empowerment and advancement of the Black family, which is led by the Black king. So, i.e., I am for the Black man. And as a result, all of my ideology center around that. Now, I have to admit, I am a Black woman that was raised in Western society. So I have been conditioned to align myself with the sisterhood. And that is something that I have had to consciously work to overcome. However, my desire to ensure that Black men are seen as the head and to support them and advocate for them will always exist. And I don't know feminists who advocate for Black men.
I agree. They only advocate for women. That's why I don't understand how people can call you feminist. I never thought that from the beginning. I just think they do it just to make you guys feel bad for whatever reason. But yeah, right? But yeah, I don't get that either from you guys. But so this is for Sister George. Do you feel pressured? Can you hear me? I don't know why I don't. Hello?
Yeah,
we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you,
I didn't see my thing moving. I'm so sorry about that. Did you feel pressured to get married being in a male-dominated space? Sorry.
I'm not gonna necessarily say that I felt pressured, but being in a male-dominated space and listening to the rhetoric and reading and understanding what's to come, it does make you be like, oh shit, playtime is over. Playtime's been over. It's definitely time to settle down and to get somewhere and sit my ass down. It's been time, but I'm glad it's with Curlin. So I'm not gonna necessarily say it made me feel pressured, but it did light a fire up under my ass just a smidge. So I that's where I'm at with it.
I figured that because they do pressure you to either get in a relationship or
yeah,
get married.
I'll say that they really, really make you think about the aspects of relationships and what roles you've played in your past relationships and what you're doing now to go further in relationships, or if you really want to be married or if you really don't want to be married. I think they put a lot of stuff at the forefront so you can really see what options are out there. You can especially see what men go through on the other side, especially after a relationship ends. So I think it's been more like a fire starter for me.
Right. And
can I answer that too, Melody? Because that's an interesting one.
I have the same question.
Oh, you got a different one for me? Okay.
Yeah, kind of. Since Sister George got married, does that make you more pressured to get married since Sister George got married?
No. But I do feel I do get a lot of flack in the space because they like to, for some reason, insinuate that I've been engaged for this extended period of time. I've only been with my partner for 4.5 years, so I don't know where this notion is that I've been engaged for 10 years or forever a fiance and all this type of stuff. But also, I don't adhere to the same ideologies surrounding dating, mating, and marriage that the people in this space adhere to. I don't subscribe to state sanctioned marriage. I don't need the authorization of white zaddy in order for my relationship to be validated. If we want to go outside and run around a tree 3 times to validate our relationship and take it to the next level, like that's what we will do. It's not
Right.
even that serious. I do actually want a small ceremony. I will be having a micro wedding, so it's small, but I'll have family coming in from out of state. So I do want somewhat of a ceremony, but
Mhm.
we like if that's what I wanted, we could get married tonight. I mean, there's no one stopping us.
Exactly. I don't see why people have these huge ceremonies. It's not even worth it. It's better to just go and have a private ceremony and call it a day. I agree with that. And you know how Kevin Samuels is. He make it seems like if you're with a man for a year, you should get married. How do you feel about that? Like you think it's BS?
I think that you're the one who should dictate what your timetable looks like. I would not marry a person that I've been with for less than a year, and even if a man proposed after a year, we would probably have a lengthy engagement. I want to see you in all seasons, not just in when I say all seasons, I'm not talking about the weather. I want to be able to say that, I wouldn't marry a man that I didn't live with. I wouldn't marry a man before living with him because I feel like people change and people can put on their representative for you for short periods of time. Like, I think you need to be with someone over prolonged periods of time. I can tell you something like, I feel like I've seen my fiance in all seasons at this point, but during the first year, I had not seen him in all seasons. During the first 2 years, it probably took a good 2.5 years before I felt like, oh, I've seen him in all seasons. And yeah, I truly know who this man is.
Right. I actually agree with you on that. It does take time to get to know someone. I don't think you should marry within a year, and that's just my opinion. But yeah, you guys have a lot of like naysayers. How does that affect your channel or brand? Anybody?
It really depends on who the naysayer is. You would like to think that you would be in this space and that whatever people say wouldn't necessarily affect you. But when you come to the internet, to me, it's the internet. So I don't really think of it as a person having clout or somebody can actually discourage people from watching your channel or discourage people from messing with you. But then reality sets in, and if you get into a skirmish with certain people, or you really can't speak freely about others without repercussions, then like I said, it kind of brought me to reality real quick that internet clout is actually a real thing. And I think that if you do insert into beef or squabbles with the wrong people, I think it definitely does affect your channel.
Exactly. Because people who like that content creator stop watching you, and it's a mess. It's a whole mess. I didn't notice that with my channel as well, but I'll get into that later. You, Concrete.
I think that it can impact your channel to a degree, but I think that the overall growth of your channel is dependent upon how hard you're willing to hustle, how innovative you are, how your marketing strategies. I think I can say, I think that one thing about it is we had a few people to support us, so to speak, in the beginning, i.e., like verbalize their support of us and say, hey, they have a channel. But those same people shortly thereafter withdrew their support. And I feel like me and Danny have really had to get it out the mud. Like, for as innovative as we are with our topics and trying to bring some diversity to the space, we, every single sub that we get, we like busting our tail for. Like, nothing is being handed to us. And I can truly say that, and I firmly believe that.
Yeah, I see that. You ladies work really, really hard. I've seen you ladies get great interviews. And you know what's funny? Remember that interview you had with the porn star? What was his name?
Wesley Pipes.
Yeah. Why do you think the men acted how they acted when you brought them on? When you brought him on, like they were acting like they actually hated you ladies for bringing them on.
I don't really understand, and I do think that they are very hypocritical. I haven't seen any of them approach Tommy or Ramil like that, or about anything as it pertains to the adult industry. And so when they gave us hell about it, and then you see these other guys that are really into it, and it probably were into it before we did our interview. I see a lot of it as bullshit. Like, it's cap. And I'm like, y'all sitting over here criticizing us, but y'all are doing it because y'all see us as easy targets, as opposed to having any real issue to what we do on our platform. So I just felt like it was just very hypocritical, because they don't approach men with that same energy, and they won't approach men with that same energy. It was just because I felt like we were easy targets.
Well, do you think if you had a woman like Pinky on there, do you think it would have went the same way?
Well, we actually recently had Crystal Cooper on, and Crystal Cooper is an adult star. To me, the energy was, I don't want to come up there because I don't want to be seen as a simp. I don't want people making fun of me, because they made fun of guys when guys came up the last time. And to me, it wasn't even that deep, but everybody had something to say about everybody coming up on the panel. So I think guys just didn't want to look thirsty. And we did have a couple people come up, but most guys didn't want to appear thirsty, in my opinion.
That's what it is. I think so, because like you said, if it was Ramil or somebody else, it probably would never have went that way. So I definitely agree with that. All right. So now, will you ladies ever do content that directly address the problem of Black women? Like, instead of doing both and playing good cop, bad cop, just go at the Black women.
We have had content where our topics were specifically designed to address the Black women. I think that, to be honest, and I am honest, during the shows that we've had where our topics are directed at Black women and holding them accountable, I feel as though we've had people come on and they start berating Black women or come with blasphemous claims. And as a result, like, it switches, and I personally start defending Black women because they come with baseless claims. And I'm like, okay, wait, now we know Black women need to be held accountable, but there's no evidence of anything that you're saying. But we have done shows specifically directly aimed at holding Black women accountable.
Right, because I do hear the men saying, yeah, you talk about it, but you don't really go at the women as hard as you go at the men. So, Sister George, what would you say about that?
I think that within this space, it probably is not, I probably don't go as hard at women as I do the men. But outside of this space, like if you catch me on Facebook, or if you're privileged enough to be on my Facebook page, then you'll know that I definitely go at women, and I get called all kind of mammies and pick-me's and whatever's over there.
Yeah,
and yeah, and so when I come to this space and I present arguments or whatever, some of the arguments I get directly from women that are coming at me, which I find to be hilarious. But I feel like it just kind of gives us more balance, and more room to actually say what the actual problem is without having to sugarcoat it, or like we can say what we mean and mean what we say, and we don't have to hide behind everything or be scared to really give an opinion or to be ourselves when we come on here. So I feel like we catch hell from both sides. So it is what it is.
The thing is, though, we don't really come at men hard. We're not coming at them berating them. Like, we never speak about black men as if they're a monolith. We don't talk like all black men ain't ish, or we don't really come at black men hard. I've seen women in the black manosphere, or not in the black manosphere, in black YouTube, like verbally assault black men. Like, we don't come at them hard.
Yeah, because I've heard other content creators, I'm gonna say names, like Game Changer, don't get mad at me. Like Game Changers say, you know, you ladies, you don't give it to women like you should. He basically say y'all come up here, y'all pander to women and men, but you're really going hard on the men. It's almost like it's some kind of a gimmick that you have to make the men feel bad.
When we are going at women, I noticed that a lot of people aren't present when we do. When we are taking up for men, I noticed that a lot of people hide, or they won't say those stories. But if we say something feminist, of course there's going to be a focus on what they deem as bad. And so when we are taking up for them and going in the paint for them, nobody ever says anything, and sometimes it feels like a thankless job. But it is what it is. We've still been able to push through the space. So it is what it is.
Exactly. Okay, so now this next question, you ladies are beautiful. I'm not coming at you in any way at all. But there's a lot of pretty young women coming to the space. Do you see them as competition? Do they make you want to spice up your avatars a little bit?
Not me personally. I don't see them as competition. I think it's dope. Like, get your hustle on, sis. But I don't see them as competition. I think that we have something special. We are pretty creative. We have some hella brainstorming sessions. We are always like staying on our toes. We're not trying to copy anyone's style in the space. I think that us being who we are is what sets us apart and makes us unique. I personally don't really I don't want to draw people in with spicing up my avatar, putting up the full body pics with my booty on the sink, or my boobs sitting up nice. That is not what I personally desire to do. I think it's funny, and I actually am not even offended at the fact that they say we're grannies and over the hill and stuff like that. It's
Right.
jokes, and it's funny to me. I'm not offended by that. I'd rather you view me like that than you be talking about how nice my titties sitting.
Right. I do agree with that. How about you, Sister George?
I will say I don't see them as competition as far as it's going to pertain to looks or anything like that, because I've always been under the mindset that there are going to be prettier women, flyer women than you. There's always going to be somebody better. What I feel like Concrete and I do try to do is dominate our own lanes. I'm a woman of 41 years old. I couldn't compete with a 25-year-old if I tried to. However, I can be great in my 41-year-old lane. I can be great. I know how to dominate that. I'm not I would never want to go back to 25, so I wouldn't even feel like it's a competition. And like Concrete said, we're pretty creative on our own. So I think getting to a point to where we appreciate our age and the things that we set out to do, I think that's probably the most important. But no, I don't really feel like it's competition. I think when you stay in your lane and you dominate your lane, I think that's how you become more successful.
Right. And I think you women are absolutely gorgeous for your age, by the way. I don't see anything wrong with what you look like. I love what you have. So that was just a question that I have for you. And, on my last stream, somebody was saying, in order to make it in the manosphere as a woman, you have to have a certain look, and you got to kind of over-sexualize yourself or cam up looking sexy. Do you think you would have gotten a lot further by spicing up your avatar or camming up the show skin or something like that?
Hell yeah.
How so?
I mean, if you know how to hit those angles and you can show like you got a small waist or you have big titties or you have a nice ass or whatever. I know what men are attracted to. I know child, I know. I get it, but I'm a respectable married woman now, so of course I wouldn't do any of that.
Right, I was gonna say you're married, so you don't even really care about things like that. What about you, C Rose? What's your take on that?
Personally, if that's a requirement to get views and subs, then I won't be part of the space. Like, I'm gonna tell you something. I've already said numerous times, my fiance was Muslim for 90% of his life. He ain't having that.
Mhm.
Like, I would
Right,
not be a part of the space if I need to show a little TNA in order to, garner views. That's just not something that I would subscribe to. Nah, I ain't with it.
right. Well, in this space, have men ever attacked your looks? Any either of
Yeah.
you?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely for
I've
me.
had one
And
person say something like halfway slick.
Right,
yeah, I've had a whole uh sector of people kind of come at me, but I mean, I am married now, so it doesn't even matter as long as I look good for my husband. So,
right. So, would you say that one of you are more male identified than the other? And how does that affect you guys, how you guys make content?
um, I do think that I would probably be more male identified. But when we came up with the concept of the channel, we didn't really want to have a big old circle jerk. Um, we've noticed other content creators, and no, this is no shade or anything to them, but we saw female content creators in the space, and it to me it seemed like a lot of circle jerk. Now I'm gonna say that I have seen them come up with some valuable content for men, so don't get me wrong there. But to initiate the conversation and then understanding what it takes to provoke people to talk or to give you a piece of their mind or to let you know what they really think. We didn't want to just have like, oh well, yeah, we agree with the men. Yeah, the men are right. Yeah, the men are so great. Yeah, the men are just wonderful. Yeah, they know everything. Yeah, the men are right. I
Right,
was like, I no, these niggas don't know what they talking about right here. They need some work over there. These chicks don't know what they talking about right here, and so on. And so we felt like it would make for better content with us having opposing views sometimes. But I think that we want to see successful Black families and Black people get together. And that's the basis of our channel. Like, we want to see people get together. We want to be able to initiate the conversation. But in initiating a conversation or actually having real thoughts or people being able to express real thoughts and real feelings, I just didn't want to come at it from one side of it. I wanted to be able to see a whole picture. And I think when you have a big vision, then you can actually get down to the bottom of like what the problem is.
right. How about you, Concrete?
I actually would have to disagree. I don't think that Danny is more male identified. I think that it depends upon the subject. I think that I may push back more, and that
Mhm.
because I come from a conscious a conscious place or conscious ideologies, that I give more pushback as it relates to certain things, but it depends on what it is. Like yesterday, our topic, somebody would have said I was more male identified. It just depends on the actual topic of discussion. But really
Right,
and truly, the cornerstone of consciousness is the Black family, which is led by Black kings. So really and truly, that is the basis of everything that I believe is supporting and upliftment of Black men, because by uplifting Black men, the Black family will be uplifted, and everyone who falls into under that umbrella. So I think it just depends upon the actual subject. But one thing about us is we don't, like, nothing that we do is rehearsed. Like, even when we do our banter, we don't know who, like, half the time we don't know who gonna play good cop, who gonna play bad cop. Like, if she starts taking on, the good cop, I'll start taking on the bad cop and just start writing notes as she speaks. We don't, like, everything that we do, like, if we allow it to happen organically. And then even when we have opinions, like when we don't agree, we have different viewpoints, we don't necessarily know that until we start talking about it. So you see it play out in real time, and you guys see me very passionate about it, like because Black men da 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 da, or because white supremacy, so you see that passion in real time, because nothing we do is scripted.
Right. You guys just play off of each other. And that's what
Right.
I love about it. It just flows so naturally. And that's one of my favorite parts about you ladies. So don't get mad, Concrete, but I have a question for you. Do
Let's
you
do it.
feel
I ain't gonna get my.
okay? Do you feel like Sister George is getting more recognition than you?
Oh no. Like, for me, I don't compete with Danny. Like, I don't see her as competition at all. Like, not and I'm not saying that to be condescending. Like, that's my family. Like, that's my partner. Like, we are one. People in this space have tried to cause division between us, and doing little sly things and stuff like that. And like, she's not my competition. If we decide to go our own separate ways, or whatever happens with the future of our show, like, I'm not competing with her. I think that what she has makes her who she is, and what I have makes me who I am. To be completely honest, I think that part of the recognition that she receives in the space is because she frequents the space. Y'all see me in the space,
Exactly.
and that's
On next,
intentional.
right. That's what I was
Exactly.
going to say. Right, because she does frequent the space more, so that's the only reason why I asked that question. Sister
Yeah.
George, let me see what I can ask you. Do you feel like you get more attention than Concrete Rose because you frequent the space more?
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna be a natural occurrence if you see like every time you see me, then if you see me and I'm arguing or fussing with somebody, it's not gonna be always the best attention. Sometimes I feel like I should be able to take a back seat and sit down somewhere like she does. Because she's not constantly in beef or anything like I am. So I feel like I am gonna be probably more recognized, but it's not necessarily for the right reason, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. And I do see a lot of people say, Concrete, you run. When there's beef, since Sister George is in the space more, she gets all of the flack. Everybody is jumping on her. Nobody, and
That's
you're
so
nowhere to be
funny.
found. They say you're just gone. You just don't want no problems with anybody. So I want to ask you, are you running and hiding when you guys get in beef? That's why you come to the space?
um Like, that's laughable. Like, hiding from who? Like, who gonna check me? What can be done to me? Like a virtual sparring? Like, I mean, listen. I'm not running and hiding from people in this space. I think that this space can get heavy at times, and I learned that. Like, you guys probably noticed that. Like 2 years ago, I was in this space all the time, in one of the most toxic content creators platform quite often. And it was like very heavy. Like, it was like there was always some drama, arguing with people all in the comments, on panels, arguing. Like, I am an empath, and that impacts my energy greatly. Oftentimes, like, sometimes there's been occasions where like, unless it's the middle of the night fight, if it's something that happens, Danny will typically text me, or she'll be like, "Oh, this person said this and it pissed me off," and I'm typically the one, like, trying to hold her back. There's no holding her back. Trust me. Believe me, when she
What
has
are you
in her
gonna
mind
say?
made up that she's gonna jump, she's. But I'm typically like, girl, who cares? Like, they ain't paying our bills. Like, it's, haters gonna hate. Like, I'm that type of person, but it's just because I don't believe in feeding into it and giving it any energy. Like, these people, half of them are extremely irrelevant to me. Baby, let me tell you something. I'm scared. No, that's not it. It's just that I don't think that they're worth it. Like, I have, why would I waste my time and energy arguing with people online when I have a whole fiance downstairs, two beautiful children, a very full life, friends that I haven't seen in months because I have so little time to spend with my friends. Like, I mean, I have too much to do than be arguing with these folks online, and they get a kick out of it. They get their rocks off by doing it. Not with me.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, Sister George, do you like drama? Because anytime there's drama,
Melody, what kind of damn questions is these? God.
I'm just saying, whenever there's problems, you're on a panel. Like, with Angry Man, when Angry Man and you got into it, I noticed you were going back and forth with him and with a couple of other people.
Well, this is what I'll say to that. I am generally not the person who starts the shit. But people don't always get to see it from start to finish. However, I'm not a punk. So it'll be like, okay, people will say stuff, I won't say anything. It will piss me off, and it'll piss me off. I won't say anything on air about it. I'll just kind of go on about my business. And then they'll say stuff again. And I'm like, okay, like, you got it off the first time. I didn't say anything. I let you make it with it. I didn't say anything. I left you to it because I feel like everybody's entitled to their opinions. But then they start doing like personal attacks on like Curlin and stuff like that. Or if they talk about Concrete, that kind, or our show, which Concrete and I put a lot into our show, whether people think so or not. We actually put work in, and this is effort for us. And so when you get to talking about us in that aspect, yeah, I'm gonna fight for my brand that I fought to build. We've gone through hell within the space. We've gone through hell, and I would feel like we've gone through more so than, no, I'm not gonna say more so. We've gone through hell just like any other female channel within the space. And so when you have people coming at you
Not
and then
all of
they're
them.
not accurate, or they're coming at you or coming for your relationship or coming for your man, and then your man ain't did nothing or you haven't done anything to these people, then I feel like you have bullies here. And I've kind of gotten out of the bully stage. I've been out of the bully stage for like 30, 40, almost 40 years. Like, I'm not with the bully stuff. So my whole thing is it's the internet, and if you're gonna say something and you're gonna say something off cuff, if I say something off cuff to you, don't be mad. I'm gonna return that same energy, and I don't generally feel bad about that. Now, however, I'm married now, and I don't want to continuously have drama and stuff with other men. But do I like the smoke sometimes? Yeah, I do. I ain't
I
gonna
think we
front.
all do. We
I
all
do.
like the fuckery, as you call it.
Yeah, I do. I'm the fuckery whisperer. So I do.
Exactly. That's why I love you ladies so much. All right. So I have noticed that you've had problems with Angry Man and other content creators. How has that affected your YouTube growth? Because he has so many followers, and I know some of them follow you.
Well, I'm hoping that he and I don't have anything going up. Like, I don't think we have anything going on now, but I think it was effective because he kept coming against our platform, and then there are a lot of followers in the space, and a lot of guys didn't want to come against Angry Man because Angry Man is who he is in the space, and I can't say that I don't understand that. Yeah, I felt like people are gonna be like, well, that's Angry Man, so I don't want to say anything to him. And I have to respect his position in the space, and I get that, but I didn't like it, and I felt it was effective from his standpoint. I'm not afraid to say that I lost. you win, you lose. I
See,
lost.
that's why I can't engage either, because once I go there, like there's no coming back from me. Like you did to me. Like I'm unable, like I am a person that can, like I can either ignore what you're saying, but if I engage and it get ugly and we going below the belt and you attacking, my fiance and my, like you're like doing the, you know, um the derogatory attacks and all type of baseless claims and stuff like that, then I don't like, there's no coming back from that for me. There's no like me forgiving you and us being able to work together, and or like me, like you dead to me, like you, like I can't, you know, it's hard for me. So that's why, like, giving it my energy is not something that like I can take lightly and be like, okay, we hash it, we're able to hash it out and move on, because there's no hashing it out for me. Even though this is the internet, like I really don't want anything to do with you from that point on.
Right. I say F them. Like, who needs that? You guys have so much going on
Yeah.
with the platform and everything with the marriage, and you're engaged. You don't have time to focus on the drama. So, yeah, F them, right? Who cares about these people? So, yeah, I'm going to change the subject a little bit. Sister George, this is for you. I see a lot of men flirting with you on YouTube and IG. How does that affect curling?
Well, damn. I don't really think a lot of guys flirt with me.
I see it all the time.
I'm like, wait a minute, Melody, what's going on? Like, is this?
I know, but I had to do it. I had to do it.
Oh.
No disrespect to Curlin or you. I love you both, but I mean, do he get upset about it, knowing that you're a beautiful woman in this space, and guys probably do look at you like, Sister George is pretty. Let me try to talk to her. Let me flirt with her. How does that affect Curlin?
I don't think that he is necessarily affected by it, because Curlin thinks I'm his wife, so I think he thinks that I'm sexy, or he thinks that I'm hot or whatever. So I don't think he really gives it any credence. Like, men will say that men don't want what other men don't want. So I don't think he really trips about it. We've never had a conversation like, oh, where that guy was flirting with you, or, well, no, I'll take that back. We had one, but that wasn't my fault. So, I don't shit for this interview. I don't really think he's affected. That's all I'll say. Yeah, that's it. That's all. Okay.
You see it. So concrete. How about you? Because you're also beautiful and you have a fiance. How does he feel about you being on here, talking to men?
Child, these fools know not to come at me. He's not. Listen, my fiance feels as though that the people in this space are just like trolls, and that they're like not to be taken seriously. That's kind of how he feels. More like to put it in a nutshell, like they're just trolls that ain't got much better to do. That's kind of how he feels about this space. Not about the space. He just feels like, hey, they, when I tell him some of the asinine things that I hear, he's like, no, there's no way that someone said that and seriously believed that. They're just trolling. That's kind of like his thoughts.
Right, but do they like your job? I mean, I can only imagine both of you guys, fiance and husband, is like, okay, I don't like this. It's too many men around.
Carlin knows what it is. I mean, he's from the space. Like my fiance, he doesn't. I mean, like, first of all, I have a loud mouth. I don't know how loud I am on the phone. He's like in the living room, right underneath. I'm in my like beauty room, so he's in like the living room, right underneath where I am. He hears me. He knows it's not like conversation where it's not friendly conversation. He knows it can be heated. So he's like, do you think he listened? In the beginning, he used to listen to our show. He would be in the chat and he'd be like engaging and stuff like that. Now he's like,
he's on the next question I have for you. Well, I know Curlin is manosphere because he's from the manosphere. But how about your fiance? Do you think he think like the men in the manosphere or no? That's for concrete.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Actually, as it relates to, like, the thing is, when I say that my fiance is not just conscious, he's a whole revolutionary. So when I say that to people, they automatically assume that, he's a whole tip and he is, oh, the black queen is this and black God. But that's not what consciousness is, especially at the level of consciousness that he has attained. He will be the first person to tell you black women are like, we just had a very lengthy conversation about
Mhm.
black women and him telling me that he thinks that only 0.5% of black women are good black women. So yeah, he definitely shares the mindset that black men in this space have as it relates to the current conditions of the community.
Right. What about Curlin? I know he's here, but do he really, really agree with these men, or he's just here for entertainment?
What? Girl.
Sorry, I had to do it to you guys.
No, I think that he does agree with a lot of the points that the men talk about. And we have to leave like a lot of discussions that pertain to like social issues out of the house, so to speak. Because and I think it's my nature that I'm always apt to believe what a woman says. Like if a woman's been says that she's been victimized, I'm like, oh my God, did you see what they did to that woman? And yada yada yada. And then he'll be like, but you didn't notice da 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 or da 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 da. And so I think that he does take on a lot of their talking points, but at the same token, a lot of the space can be anti-marriage and anti-relationship where he feels like it's supposed to get you to a certain point where you can recognize things and you can have tools in your arsenal, but you're supposed to use those tools to live the best life that you want to live, as opposed to letting other people dictate how you should live and what you should do with your life. So I do think that he takes on a lot of the talking points and the rhetoric and stuff, but he uses it where he feels like it's beneficial to him, and like eat the meat, spit out the bones type of thing.
Right. Okay. I mean, that sounds about right. So, Sister George, I have another one for you. Now that you're married and Concrete is about to get married, do you feel the need to tone down just a little bit, just to tone down your content as far as men are concerned?
No.
No?
As a matter of fact, knowing what works and what doesn't work, I feel like we're supposed to turn it up a notch and we're supposed to increase until we get to a point. No, I don't feel like we should tone down anything. I feel like you're gonna have some people that's gonna like you, and one day they're gonna like you, the next day they're gonna hate you. Both days I got paid, so no. Mm-mm.
Mm.
Concrete?
But
What about
Danny,
you?
you know what? I well, Danny, interestingly enough, okay, as it relates to content specifically, I understand. But if you notice that Danny, like leading up to and since her nuptials, she has said, like, I'm not arguing with these fools, like I'm somebody's wife. So I do think that the way in which she operates personally, I'm seeing the change in it if no one else does. But as it relates to our
Mhm.
content, I think that
Yeah.
I always try to present myself in a light that my fiance would be proud of. Like really and truly, even when it comes to giving the smoke, because he be telling me I need to cuss these fools out. Like he really be like, he like, and now I don't
You
curse
serious?
like that because of him, but he be telling me, 'cause, he's from Newark. He like, you, if you don't,
Wait,
he ain't with
wait.
the
I'm
mess.
sorry.
So
Newark, New
yeah,
Jersey? I'm sorry, Newark, New Jersey?
yes, yes,
Wow.
yes.
That's
I don't know. I know I
really
don't pronounce it correctly because I use two syllables, but yes. So he's like, you better, so he thinks that I'm too easy on the men in the space. But I always try to be the best representation of him, of so that I know he would be proud.
I
Yeah, he
think
from Newark, New
oh,
Jersey. Then I'm sorry, I was saying if he from Newark, New Jersey, I'm surprised he haven't came on already and cursed everybody out. Cause
Yeah,
New
he
Jersey,
because I told him I don't want him identified in the space. So yeah.
right? What were you saying, Sister George?
I was gonna say that Concrete did bring about a good point as far as like arguing with men within the space, and then going to shows to where a person doesn't really know how to control their panel. So I've tried to opt to stay away from things like that to where I'm going to argue and I know I'm going to argue, or stay away from people that are kind of volatile and stuff. So I have made more of an effort to do that for sure. But as far as like the content and stuff, no, you're not gonna get to work. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't think you should. This content is what got you this far, so I think you should keep you both of you ladies should keep doing what you're doing, and because it's working out. I think you guys are doing great. But I have another question to ask both of you ladies. Are you still gonna do separate channels?
Yes. Um, I'm waiting to I actually get it in our house and all that good stuff. But yeah, we're still gonna do the breakdown as well. The breakdown is our root, so we ain't going nowhere no time soon. I think we both love the breakdown. And so breakdown's like our baby, but we do want to expand, you know what I'm saying? And so when you're
Mhm.
doing good and you know you have a knack for certain things, I think expansion is important
You're
and
Borging a
building up.
little bit.
Yeah,
Oh man, now.
yeah,
Yeah,
still.
it's still Borging.
Oh, rat.
I
I
I
mean,
think
kind of
we got the gist of what she was saying. Yeah, I
right.
agree. We will definitely still expand and also do our own things. I think that our own channels will be different from what we do in the space. So, like my channel personally, and I think Danny has touched on this too. Her channel is not going to be in the space at all. But my channel, it will be a YouTube channel, but it will not be the content, the type of content that people within the manosphere watch. So yeah, it'll be completely different. So yes, we will definitely still do our own individual ventures, and we will still continue to maintain the breakdown as well.
Interesting. So, what is it going to be? More like a pro black channel?
Actually,
Um,
it's going to be more lifestyle. So because it's going to be lifestyle, though, you'll get to see like my lifestyle, and that does include consciousness and pro blackness. So the discussions that I have with will be centered around blackness. So there will be some of that with that, but that won't be the ultimate premise of my show.
Right. So, well, when you guys are both doing your show together, right? I think I asked something similar to this, but not exactly this. Who gives you guys more pushback, the sisterhood or the men? And do you think you're pushing the sisterhood hard enough?
Wait, I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question, Melody. Can you repeat it one more time?
I'm sorry, am I a little low, ladies?
no,
It
you're
just it
fine
went
to
out a
me.
little bit, like got a little low in the middle for me.
Okay, I was saying, who gives you guys more pushback, the sisterhood or the men? And do you think you're pushing the sisterhood hard enough? Because I know you're pushing both. Do you think you're pushing it hard enough for the sisters?
I don't think that we push the
Go ahead, Danny.
sisterhood hard enough because we're in a male space to where that's what they are predicated on is pushback to women and pushback to the sisterhood. So when we come through and we're able to provide arguments, and the fact that people will actually get up and arguments she and I are providing, we're small channel. I think that we do ourselves
Uh-oh,
big.
you bored again.
Danny, yeah, your
Oh
board
man,
sounds really, really bad.
what's going on?
Move closer to the router. In the meantime,
I think to yeah,
yeah,
I was going to
concrete.
answer. I think that we get more pushback from men, specifically in the space. So virtually, we get more pushback from men. I do think that we are not pushing the sisterhood hard enough in this space. And the reason that I say we're not is primarily because we don't have a lot of women that come to our channel. So if we push on the sisterhood, not that that's what's preventing us, like we won't be we'll be talking to an all male audience about what the sisterhood needs to do, and as a result it's going to be a circle jerk. Why talk to 90% men or 95% men about what Black women need to do and how Black women need to be held accountable? All we'll have is people coming on the panel and agreeing, and that doesn't make for interesting content, in my opinion. Like, we absolutely do not want a circle jerk, and I think that if in this space we create content, more content, pushing against the sisterhood, then that's what we would have, because the men are simply going to come up and say, yeah, you're right, they need to do better. And we don't have many women that even come on our show, and they certainly aren't going to come up and defend their position and provide a dissenting argument to whatever we're saying.
I was trying to say what Concrete said, but yeah, that's pretty much what I
Yeah.
agree with that.
Right, because I want to say, I think in the beginning, with me watching your content, you were pushing the sisterhood really, really hard, but a lot of those ladies left because like felt uncomfortable to come on a panel, and the men in the space are gonna give it to them, So I think that's what happened, right? I think the men kind of like pushed them
Do you
away.
remember? We literally had to implement a rule that the women come on first. It was so kindergarten, so elementary. The women come on first, and then the men come on after the women. Like, they didn't want to engage with the men. It was like that.
Oh yeah.
And we tried that for a little while just to try to see how it worked, and we decided it wasn't effective because it defeated the whole purpose of our channel. The purpose was to engage in dialogue together. So if you're going to come on, we won't let anyone berate you, but you don't have to come on while other people are on, other panelists, and that includes men.
I do remember that. I hated when you ladies were doing that because I wanted to be on together, but it's like, okay, the ladies, okay, now the men. It was just, yeah, it was whack. I really didn't like it. But so you did lose a lot of female viewers. How do you feel about that?
You want females to be able to come in and actually engage in this content, but when they start to leave the channel and you're not able to reach them, then you have to kind of go about the message in other ways and taking the message to other platforms. And so that's what I've tried to do, is like take the message to other platforms. And so I think on other platforms I'm into it with women way more than I'm into it with men. And like I said, I find it to be so funny because when you get here and people are like, you're a feminist, and I'm like, man, like I'm actually in other spaces fighting and actually having conversations like these. And so it's funny to me, but I say they'll be back, or I think people evolve. So I think people get tired of women blowing smoke up their asses too. Kind of think of it like the Derek Jackson thing. Like, Derek Jackson was steadily blowing smoke up women's asses and giving them a false sense of reality. And so I think that at some point they'll evolve, and I think we'll continuously grow. So with growth, you'll get everybody when you grow.
I think so.
What though? I'm not mad at the women. Oh, go ahead, Melody. Sorry.
No, it was your turn. I just wanted to say I think so too. I agree.
Okay. I was just going to say, I'm not mad at the women who decided that our content is not for them. However, we ain't going to change a damn thing. Like, if you are looking for something that is steeped in sisterhood, that is, berating Black men, that will never hold Black women accountable, then this is not the channel for you, because our channel will never be that. I'm not one of the people who feels as though, like, in our business meetings, I'm not like, okay, we need to change our rhetoric in order to draw more women in because all the women are leaving. Okay, good riddance. But at the same time, I can say that we do make a concentrated effort to get women to come and engage by our topics. A lot of people will look at our topics and say, oh, you guys are feminists, because it may be a topic asking Black men, oh, are all Black baby mamas bad, bad single mothers except for your mother? It may be a topic like that, but you don't know what our stance will be unless you come in and have a seat and listen. And of course, that's going to be triggering. It's going to be considered inflammatory, but it's that way for a reason. We want to have a dialogue, and sometimes our titles will sting a bit, but our intent is to get you to come in and to have the conversation, and maybe we can share our opinions on the matter, and new perspectives or new perspectives will be garnered as a result of the conversation. So that's our approach.
Right. But okay, so do y'all troll? Do y'all really troll men? I mean, well, I'm sorry, I'm asking a question wrong. Do you guys troll men, or do you really mean what you say about men?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Uh-oh.
Oh no,
I'm sure she'll be right back. She'll be back. I personally don't troll men. Nothing I say to men is to troll men. Now, if you're like, do some of our topics or titles to our show or the thumbnails, are they have some trolling in them or element of trolling? Yes. But like my rhetoric, my stance on anything as it relates to Black folks is not to troll men. Yeah, the titles and the topics may be a little bit trollish, but I'm never like, when I come and I say my stance, save for the times when we're doing our funny banter, I'm not trolling Black men. That's how I feel about issues.
Yeah, I say I love trolling. So sometimes it is troll, sometimes it isn't, but I troll women too. So I'm an equal opportunity troll.
I'm sorry, I was muted trying to talk. I was saying, so y'all just troll. Y'all don't care. Y'all just do it just for the entertainment, usually. But sometimes you're serious
Well,
about
Danny,
what
and you can tell when she's trolling. Yeah, Danny, I think, likes to troll. Our titles absolutely are trolling quite often.
Right, but I notice a lot of people do get offended by it, even when you are trolling. Like, I can tell when you ladies are trolling, but a lot of the men don't. They'll be making after streams and all types of things, because they don't realize that you're trolling.
They realize, Melody, that's confirmation bias. They want to believe that we're feminists anyways. So when we literally will say at the end of our banter that we were playing, we will state our true stance on the subject before we open up the panel, and they will still come up and say, oh, y'all really meant that. That's how y'all really feel. Just insist that that's how we really feel. And I get it. Like, I mean, it's absolutely frustrating to me, but I do get it, because like I said, when I talked to my fiance and he was talking about the 0.5% of Black women being good, he literally was talking to me about the Black women he's encountered over his life and how the large majority of them would fall into that mold, because I was talking about the adjectives that I would attribute to a good Black woman. And he was saying, well, the women that I've met do not fall into that category. So if Black men are constantly encountering that, they're not going to believe that you are the exception.
Exactly. I do agree with that. But speaking of exception, do you ladies consider yourselves pygmies?
I wouldn't necessarily consider myself a pick me. Now a lot of things that are like assigned to pick me's, I guess I really do go along with. But like truly, like, no, I don't really consider us pick me's.
Because I remember Concrete saying, I'm the biggest pick me. I don't know if you remember that, Concrete, but you did say that.
That you were, Melody?
No, I'm saying that you said you were the biggest pick me. Like you were talking and you were just like, yeah, I'm the biggest pick me. You said it in one of your streams. I don't know if you
I
remember.
probably was saying it like in a playful manner. I don't consider myself a pick me. And the reason that I don't consider myself a pick me is because I'm too opinionated to be a pick me, number one. And number two, to be completely honest, I've been in relationships since I was a very young kid. And I've never had to strive to be picked, to pretend to be something I'm not to be picked. But
Mhm.
aside from that, I'm too opinionated. I don't think pick me's have their own opinions outside of, the men that are in their presence. So I would not be considered a pick me. So I might have said that in a playful manner. I don't recall, but I don't consider myself a pick me.
Right. What about you, Sister George? Oh, you already told me, didn't you? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You
okay.
did say. Yeah, I do agree with you. Some pick-me's or what men call pick-me's don't have an opinion of their own. That's why a lot of people like to tease me and call me a pick-me. Because usually I do agree with the men most of the time. But I don't think I do have an opinion of my own, and my opinion just so happens to be the same opinion as men. So yeah, I do get that about pick-me's. Um,
The
let me
thing
see.
is, Melody, and that's like Jerome was saying, as a pick me, you have to be attractive. I don't think so. You are an attractive woman, and I think that most pick me's are women who would be unattractive that cannot gain a man's interest on their own. Being a pick me is like being something inauthentic to who you are. That's not the same as being male identified. Women who literally are pretending to be something they're not to gain the attention of men, and typically that's going to be unattractive women.
Oh yeah, because Game Changers term for pick me is totally different. I was just going with that term. But yeah, I have heard your term as well, Concrete. You have anything to say about that, Sister George?
Nope, I'm just gonna sit here and be submissive.
Speaking of submissive, how important do you feel it is to be submissive to your man? And also, do you think a man has to earn your submission?
To be honest, I feel like it's very, very, very important to be submissive to your man. With Curlin makes it's an honor to even be able to serve him. And so when you feel like that about your man, then you're not looking at it as a thing of work as opposed to making your man more happy and making sure that he's happy in the way that you can make him happy. And I look forward to that. That is my favorite thing to do is to know that he's pleased and he's satisfied. Now, do what your question was, do men have to earn my submission? I would say with him, I don't feel like it was a thing of earning anything. I think like when you build trust and you're able to build trust, when you're able to build trust and build bonds with people, for me, that does make me want to be if I could do anything more outside of the norm, then of course I'm gonna do whatever I can to make sure that I'm doing my part and playing my role. So I don't feel like it's a necessary thing of earning my submission, but more so of building bonds and loyalty and trust.
Exactly. How about you, Concrete? You there?
Sorry, I don't know what's going on with my phone. I'm having some technical difficulties. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, sorry about that. But I do think that it's important to be submissive to your partner. I think that in order to have a healthy dynamic in the relationship, that submission must exist. That's my personal belief. or at least that's what works for me. As it relates to a man earning my submission, it's not something that a man has to earn per se. It is something that I do have to, he does have to display that he is worthy of my submission, but he doesn't have to do anything specific to earn it. The way that he displays that he's worthy is showing that he is a proven leader and is and he encompasses all that a proven leader would need to, i.e., the ability to protect his family and be willing to and capable of, putting his life on the line for his family. So everybody ain't able. And so as a result, everyone is not worthy. But they don't have to do anything to earn it. So he would not need to lay his life down to earn my submission, but there would need to be a willingness to protect his family at all costs.
Okay, I like that answer. He just have to be a leader. That's all he have to be, right? And that's how you get your submission.
Absolutely. And that's a tall order. Like being a leader, I'm learning these days that there's so many people who are followers that there's a lot of people who are not capable of leading. Like that entails a lot. So yes, in a nutshell, being a leader is the primary requirement for me.
Oh, Melody, well, I also wanted to say this too, as far as like the submission part. Women of other culture are just nice by default. I feel like I'm nice to people by default. Until somebody violates me, then I think like my niceness and stuff goes out. But I feel like it's always important to try to put your best foot forward when you're dealing with people, period. So when it comes down to men, I think my niceness is a given until I feel like I can't give it. And I feel like other cultures of women do that as well. So I feel like we're gonna generally be nice people. So with people having to earn our niceness upon meeting us, no, I absolutely don't think that's the case. But when people are disrespectful and stuff like that, then I don't really feel like I have to continue being nice to you when you're being a prick. So
I do agree. I'm sorry about the dog in the background if you hear that. But
no, that's
yeah,
okay.
like some people are always nice no matter what. That's what they say about me. Oh, you're always nice, and then when you run into problems, you're not confrontational, so you kind of run. It's not that I'm running from problems. I just don't like the confrontation. That's all. Whereas with you, you seem more like, hey, listen, I push my buttons if you want. I'm a snap. Sister George.
I'm sorry, I was all up in the chat. Will you say that again? I'm sorry.
I was saying, like, people say, like, with me, for instance, they say, oh, you're naturally really nice. You're naturally submissive. They say, well, because I don't like confrontation, I just walk away from the problem. Whereas with you, you seem more like, listen, if somebody push your buttons, even if it's your husband, you going in.
Girl, I've never gone in on my husband, fiance when he was my boyfriend. I've never ever gone in. And I will say that we had maybe one argument and my voice was raised for about 2 seconds. And he checked that shit so hard that I just don't see myself raising my voice at him. But no, I won't ever go in. I think that it is very, very important to establish boundaries for your relationship versus boundaries for other people.
Mhm.
I worship the ground Curlin walks on, and Curlin is my husband. So how I treat Curlin doesn't get will never be treated like the guys here. But the guys here know what they do to provoke and push and stuff like that. So guys here they do a lot of gaslighting and they say whatever out of their mouths. And so then when you say something back, people will naturally look at you like you're the instigator as opposed to the person who started the shit in the first place. So I don't really look at it and be like I'm just walking around like some banshee or like some out of control thought. I pretty much give what I'm given. So that's where I'm at with it.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to move on to the next question. What's the worst experience you had being in this space?
I would say like when all those people were coming for us at one time, but yeah, I would say that would probably be the worst. Yeah, that's about it.
Oh, with the pipes guy?
No, to
Mm.
me that wasn't even that deep. I think I would go as far. I would even say that some people were mad that they couldn't get a star as big like that on their channels, but um yeah, I would say like when we had all those people coming for us for just existing in the space without us having done anything. I would say that's probably been my worst.
Really? Can you elaborate on that?
When we came to the space and BGS promoted us, we had people coming at us because BGS promoted us, and we went through a lot just off of his promotion. So I don't know why. People would like to come in and say that we had rhetoric or we were doing things and we weren't doing anything to anybody. We were literally just existing in our own space, making our own content, not bothering anybody, and we caught hell. So I would say to me that was the worst because I felt like we were being bullied.
Right, I was gonna say, so the men were just bullying you for no reason at all, just because you ladies existed, and you maybe because you ladies were doing better than they are. Do you think that's why? Maybe because your channel is way better.
It could be. It could be. It could be all kinds of reasons. But I think like talking to those people to see why would probably be a better thing. But I think one of their reasonings was when you have women coming into a male dominated space, we do tend to interrupt the flow of things. We interrupt how men think, how men react to certain things. When men are amongst men, then men are able to get I think they're able to be realer with each other without having to put on showcases of bravado or anything like that. I think that women do interrupt and disrupt. We're very disruptive as a species. So I do think that that sometimes is a problem. But to me, if you don't or if you're not clear that your space isn't a co-ed space and then women come along and then you don't have a co-ed space, I think there's ways to make that known, and it doesn't have to be disruptive or crazy or whatever. But men do like I and what I've noticed is men will like to have a certain space, and then women come in, they'll allow the women to be there and then get mad at the women for being there at the same time. But then you have guys who sit for women being in the space. So it's very interesting.
Right, exactly. Because I
I
know
think that
some.
also it like goes to their. Oh, go ahead, Melody. Sorry.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead. You were next.
I'm sorry. I was just going to quickly add on just 2 cents. I think that it also relates to their mistrust for women. And it's hard for me to come to grips with that because I'm not those women. And I want to argue and push back and say, well, not all women, not all women. But if I'm arguing that day after day to men who are the ones experiencing dating women, and or 9 out of the 10 women that they've dated have fit into this mold, I can't blame them for being mistrusting. And that's something that I have to come to grips with. It's hard for me because I like sometimes in the past have literally completely disagreed with an opinion relating to black women, and push back on notions that relate to black women, and I'm having 10 different men telling me this is my experience. I feel like me not accepting their experience is me invalidating their experience, and that is just as problematic as the men in this space insisting that I meant something that I didn't mean. So that's something that I am charging myself with working harder on, just accepting that I don't date Black women. In addition, I have seen women that have done things that relate to what these men are listing as examples. It's just hard for me to accept that that's all or most Black women. And, I'm invalidating their experiences by doing that.
That's a good point, Concrete.
So, plot twist. Do you think that these men that's going through all of this in their lives is their fault because they're picking the wrong women?
Um, I think that if we are going to have the same message for women and say that women are making choices on who they allow to be in their body, who they're fucking, who they're dating, whatever, whatever, then it does have to be the same all the way around. The difference is men are finally waking up to the nature of women versus women always being taught a certain thing about men. I think that's the difference, but I don't know.
Yeah, I can see that. I
What
mean,
was the question again, Melody?
no, I was saying, do you think men, the reason why they're going through what they're going through with women is because they're picking the wrong women, and then they're blaming it on all Black women. Do you
Oh,
think it's
okay.
them and they need to take accountability for what they're doing?
I do believe that some accountability has to be had. I think that unless you are not of age, unless really and truly, I'll give grace and say if you these are all your experiences that you had with women while you were under the age of 25, your reasoning wasn't even fully developed yet, then I can give grace. But as an adult person of sound mind, you have to take accountability for your actions, just like I have to take accountability for my actions as an adult person. So there is some accountability to be had. You do have to say, hey, I'm picking the wrong, I chose wrong. However, the men's response to that, because they're saying, if by me telling them you chose wrong, they're saying picking right is like finding a needle in the haystack. So I'm going to go outside of the Black community. So that's my response to not choosing wrong. If I say I chose 10 different women that I dated, 10 different Black women, and 9 of them were quote unquote wrong, then I'm gonna just have a better chance of picking someone outside of the community. So that's going to be their response to us telling them that you should have chose better. I do think that there is a degree of negligence, or not negligence, but accountability to be had as it relates to the person doing the choosing. But on the flip side, the bigger thing that we need to address is the dysfunction. We can't just ignore the dysfunction and say you should have chose better, while the dysfunction continues to be pervasive throughout the community and impact and affect more and more Black women. So the number of women that are functional within the Black community is dwindling down so far that you got to sleep with somebody's wife in order for you to find a woman that's a that's not a bad woman. And by her sleeping with you, clearly, and like she wouldn't be a good woman. But you get the point.
I definitely get the point. Now, a lot of men do say SYSBM, Save Yourself Black Men. Do you think they go over to other countries, get with these women, and do the same thing they do with Black women with those women? Like, yeah.
In some aspects, yes. I think that Black men get over to other countries and treat those women right. I think some get over there and treat those women and dog those women out. I think that you're gonna have good and bad on both sides. So yeah, I think you're gonna have some guys who have bad experiences, or some guys who go and have good experiences, and vice versa. You're gonna have like women's nature doesn't just come to America or across the West. Women's nature is worldwide. It's a people thing. And so I think you're gonna have good and bad apples on in from both aspects.
Exactly.
I think that you that I am not upset at the notion that black men are preaching to one another, save yourself, black man. I think that you only have one life to live and your happiness should be put first. I ain't even mad at men that are seeking mates outside of our culture but staying within the race. That's just my personal opinion, but I, I understand the desire to try something different. Doing the same thing over and over is insanity. Like, I can't blame them for saying, yes, I might come across a ratchet chick elsewhere, or a woman who is as steeped in feminism as black women are by dating someone outside of the country. But I'm going to take my chances because for 40 years, I've come across nothing but black women who are steeped in feminism. So I'm going to take my chances elsewhere. Like, could you blame them? I mean, I don't blame them.
Yeah, I don't blame them either. But when they bring the women over here, do you think the woman is gonna turn to feminism?
Uh,
I think that there is probably like there's a high likelihood, at least 50-50 chance that she might, but they're like, I'm gonna take my chances. Maybe she won't, you know. Yeah, I think maybe he will have lucked up and he will have a woman that is unaffected because she has an intact culture and a very solid foundation. So they're like, I'm gonna risk it, you know.
Right. Now, I've heard many reasons why men turn to SYSBN. Wait, SYSBM, sorry. And one of the reasons they're saying is because black women's attitudes, the way black women look, most black women are overweight, the bonnets. What's your take on that?
they aren't lying, but I don't feel like everybody's telling the same lie. Some of it is disgraceful and tacky and just flat out disgusting. So when they bring about points like that, and especially if they're conducting themselves like decent people, then it is what it is. I don't feel like everybody's telling the same lie, and I do think a lot of the behavior's extra ratchet. So I agree. I can agree with them in those aspects.
Um,
Yeah. I think
oh,
so too. I mean, who would want to deal with that? Like, I don't want to deal with ratchetness. And, I'm a woman. Like, I don't want to encounter that. I try to steer clear of women who look and act like the women who were on our thumbnail yesterday. Like, I think that there is a merit to what they say. In addition, like, it's one thing that, you are not fit, you are not you're not fit, and you're maybe lacking in the femininity department, but you got the nerve to be have a nasty attitude on top of that. Like, come on, like, make it make sense. Like, be amiable and friendly and kind, and like, give yourself a chance at finding someone by getting rid of the attitude. It's just, I understand how it could be seen as too much.
right. And most black women, let's keep it real, let's be honest. Most black women aren't friendly. And I heard you speaking of this, Sister George. When you go into fast food restaurants and things like that, they don't smile, they're mean, they're nasty, they'll throw the money at you. I mean, I don't understand. Why do you think that is? Why do you think they don't smile more often?
Um, honey, I think that it is actually something that's been ingrained in our culture, and it's when you keep seeing it, and people just kind of participate in the behavior. I think it's one of those things. I think if you catch people outside of it, like, I don't think those women are always mad, but in those customer service environments, Yeah, we absolutely positively have the worst customer service, like absolutely positively. And it wasn't just like fast food because I don't really do like a whole lot of fast food or anything, but customer service period.
Exactly. Concrete Rose, what do you think?
What? So, what was the question, Melody? I'm sorry, I forgot just that quick.
Pretty much, why do you think Black women are so miserable? Like when you go into fast food restaurants, like Sister George was
Mm,
speaking of the other day, they're always mean, they don't smile, they don't say thank you
yeah.
or anything like that. They don't, I mean, you
Mhm.
can at least give me a smile. Why do you think that is?
Um, I personally, I disagree with Danny because I think that they aren't happy. I think that they're not happy with their existence. Like, if you are happy and content with your life, I'm gonna tell you something. Like, I'm a smiler, so I'm like, whenever I make eye contact with someone, I smile. Like, whenever I make eye contact with someone. But I'm a generally cheerful person. If I'm in a bad mood, I won't smile. So it's hard for me to believe that everything is going right in these women's lives, that they, are happy outside of work, but just during those 8 hours, they are, sulking and mad and got their lip poked out and, have this whole nasty disposition. I don't think that they're happy with their lives, which is probably why they are giving off that negative, bad energy that they give off because they're unhappy.
Exactly. I agree with that 100%. Now, another question I want to ask you, ladies. You both have kids. Sister George, how would you feel if your son, when he got old enough to date, brought home a white girl? And same question to you, Concrete. I know you have a daughter, so I don't know if you have a son, but same question goes for you.
If my son brought home a white girl and uh-oh, can y'all still hear me? Okay.
Yeah,
If my son brought home a white girl and the white girl was disrespectful to him and she was a bitch and she didn't know how to cook or she didn't know how to clean or he wasn't getting any satisfaction out of that relationship, I would feel like a failure as a parent because I'm raising my son to be able to get what he wants out of life. Now, if he likes toxic bitches and hoes and this, that, and the third, and he brought the white girl home, it wouldn't matter if the girl was black, white, blue, green, whatever. However, I would prefer that he would date black women, but I'm not gonna be around discouraging um other races if he can't get what he wants from a black woman. I would tell him to do what's going to make him happy, but it would be more disappointing that that I would raise a simp more so than he would bring home a white girl who would be disrespectful or bitchy and evil and whatever to him. Just like if he brought home a black girl and she was a bitch or a hoe or whatever, I would probably feel more disappointed that I raised a simp more so than me being able to assist his dad in actually raising a man.
right. How about you, Concrete Rose?
I'm gonna answer, but yeah, the chat is hitting on something that I also want to touch on just briefly. Melody, you are killing this interview, like
I
killing it
am.
seriously. And I'm not
Thank
just saying that
you.
because I'm biased. Like, the questions are spot on. That you can clearly see that this isn't something that this is something that you put time and effort into because there's specific questions based on information that has been ascertained about us in this space. So, girl, you killing it. Please hit up that Cash App because she
Thank
is
you
doing the dang thing.
so much. And the
Um,
reason why I
as
think I
it
could
relates
kill
to,
it, wait, I'm sorry. The reason why I think I could kill
uh
it
huh.
because I watch you guys all the time, so I know what to ask you. Whereas with other people, it's
Oh,
probably hard because I need to do more research. But yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
you're right. You
Thank you.
spot on, Melody. Oh my gosh, I'm proud of you. Seriously.
Thank
Um,
you.
I
So
have to say, I do not have a son, but I do have a stepson. And I talked about this a while ago in this space. My stepson is he is young. He's 20, 19 or 20. I think he just turned 20, and he is very successful. He is already in law enforcement and makes way more money than most people his age. But he would be considered nerdy. He was in like the Explorer program in school all up through high school, and it has some unique interests, and as a result, he talked to me, and he was talking to my daughter about like his struggles with dating black girls and how they won't give him any play. And I was listening to the conversation, and he was essentially saying like he was gonna start looking elsewhere. And I got engaged in the conversation because I wanted to know why, and I had a million questions, and I didn't want it to be so. But when he started to express to me, the reasoning behind it, and the one girl that did take interest in him seemed to kind of be trying to use him. And he has a nice car, and he is doing really well for himself, and he's in school. So I had to come to terms with the fact that he has tried to date black girls, but they are not interested in him. So he essentially told me about how he started to become attracted or was having interest in this Hispanic girl. And I had to accept that. Like, as much as it pains me that, that he may not end up with a black woman, I know that he is an extremely good kid, and any young girl that misses out on him, it's gonna be her loss. I understand the reasoning behind it, and so being able to see his situation up close and personal allows me to be more compassionate. That's not what I would desire for my son, but I have to understand why he, is choosing to date the girls that he's choosing to date. So.
Right, and I do agree with you guys. As long as she treats you right, it shouldn't matter what nationality sorry, tongue twisted. It shouldn't matter what nationality she is, as long as she treats you right. Now, I know you ladies would prefer her to be black, but I mean, that's what this channel's for. There's not many great black women around. It's really hard to choose. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Melody. Yeah, it was a little difficult for me, but yeah, I understand. Like, he trying today, and not only that though, he's super attractive. I mean, like, he would be like traditionally attractive, like by European standards, quote unquote, would be considered attractive, but he still has a nerdy flair to him. So, what can you do?
Right. And these days, the young girls, that's what they like. They like the nerds. So, yeah. But let me read these cash apps. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm a little late with the cash apps, but Kid Clouds. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Okay. Says coming for the guest. Uh-oh. Thank you. Are you guys nervous? People gonna come for you?
No, we're seasoned in this game. What's up?
Okay.
I ain't worried
So,
at all. Especially Kid Clouds. We get it from him every week. Like, this is a weekly thing.
oh yeah, they're always giving it to you. I do notice that. Oh my goodness.
Damn,
Okay.
they like, ask him this.
So thank you, Mahogany Roots, for the cash app. She says for a great show. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I don't know what to say. We 51. I don't know what that say. I'm sorry. But thank you so much for the cash app. I really do appreciate it. And Game Changer, thank you for the cash app. He says for a good show. Kenny Conjo also says, thank you. Good job on the interview. I really appreciate you. And D-Mac the trucker. Thank you guys. I really appreciate that. Okay. So what hobbies do you ladies enjoy outside of YouTube?
I like to shop and cook and spend time with my man, and I absolutely love being a YouTuber. So, and reading for me. But this is probably doing YouTube is easily become my favorite hobby. So,
Right. Interesting. So how about you, Concrete? What are your
Oh,
favorite hobbies?
um, I would say I have been getting into quite a bit of decorating. Is becoming a new found passion of mine. I like to read and write. I love to cook, trying new different recipes. I have like been exposed to some new hobbies through my fiance that I enjoy, but I'm not so great at it. And one would be plants. So plants and gardening as well. Not the best at it. I will forget to water them, so he ends up doing the bulk of the work, which he complains about. But I do like it, and I like having a lot of greenery in my house. So that's something new that I am starting to become interested in.
Ooh, interesting hobbies. Um, yeah. I mean, y'all have better hobbies than I do, that's for sure. But what do y'all have upcoming in the future for your channel?
that damn fire, that damn
Uh,
fire. Yeah.
That's about it. Like, to be completely honest, we are always like, so the question was asked earlier, do I see Danny as competition? Like, that's my whole sister. Like, no, of course not. But we like, if there's any kind of competition, we compete with ourselves, meaning like what we did last show, we're trying to do even better in the future. So we're always thinking of like trying to be innovative and thinking of ways that we could top the last show. And that's kind of like what like lights a fire under us as it relates to our show. I think that we have a dope show coming up this Sunday. You guys make sure you tune in because it's going to be really dope. But we have all kind of things on the horizon. Like we plan out like a month and a half in advance. We like, okay, so this what we doing for July, this what we doing for August. Like that's how intentional we are as it relates to our show. So we got some exciting things coming up. Like you guys are gonna be like, whoa, like dang. Just we're always trying to keep it interesting, and that's the plan.
Oh, I can't wait. I hope you guys are dropping their channel in a chat, even though we probably have the same people, but drop it anyway. Just make sure you guys are doing that. Okay, well, thank you so much for this interview. Do you mind if I drop the link for the guys to come up for a little while?
I only have
Um,
a few minutes, but Danny, what do you think? I have a few minutes.
yeah, I have a few minutes as well. Wait a
Okay,
minute.
so I'm gonna drop the link.
Yeah, yeah open it up for a little bit.
Yeah, it's interesting. I want to see what they got to say about this. So let me.
Lord, child, I feel like we about to be lambs to the slaughter. This is gonna be
Uh-oh.
fun.
Okay, guys. So the link is in the chat. So hit the link and come up and ask the ladies questions. I'm gonna drop it again just to be sure they got it. Oh, we got somebody already.
Oh Lord, break out the 40s.
Hey, Leo Anthony, salute.
What up, Melody? Salute to you, yo. This is a great interview. You held it down pretty long. You asked them a ton of questions. I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
Uh, Shout out to the breakdown of the women's perspective. I know the guys give you guys a hard time, but I really do like their channel because I like the fact that you two aren't afraid to disagree and speak your mind how you honestly feel. Because necessarily care for a circle jerk or a yes man camp. So I do respect the fact that you guys are willing to do that. But I rarely disagree. I mean, I rarely agree with you guys sometimes because I feel like with the titles of y'all shows, right? I feel like y'all purposely do it to trigger the fellas to come in and argue with you. And I gotta ask, why do you lead the conversation off with like a seemingly bad or disingenuous argument? Why not just put like a reasonable one?
Um, I think
Well,
that when oh, okay, go ahead, Concrete.
I'm sorry, I'll be real quick. We don't typically lead the conversation off like that. Our topics may be triggering, but generally, when we open up, except for maybe 3 or 4 times where we've done the banter thing and we're trying to show how ratchet sisterhood can be. So that's like maybe 4 times, a handful of times we've done that. But aside from that, over the almost 200 shows that we've done, when we do have topics with the triggering titles, we lead with our position on the topic so that there's no confusion.
Okay. Do you two like ever like before y'all do a show, do you like throw it at like your fiance or your husband? Like y'all just, oh, we're having this topic. What do you think about that? Because like the men, they really want, some good pushback from the sisters. So I always kind of wondered if you guys kind of like threw the topic at like Curlin or Concrete, your fiance first, to kind of like pre-prepare for what the fellas might say.
I will definitely throw it. Now, I will say that Concrete and we feel like it's important to the integrity of the show for our ideas to be our ideas for the show. And so she and I will have a conversation about what we're going to talk about. And then I'll bring it back to Curlin. And Curlin's like, oh, hell yeah. Or if now sometimes I'll come up with stuff and I'll be like, what you think about this, babe? And he'll give me his opinions and thoughts on it. And then sometimes I'll present it to Concrete, like to see if she wants to go through with it as a show. But yeah, I love like when we come up with our show topics and then I'm able to present them to Curlin because I love to see his reaction to the shows too.
I actually
Concrete, what about
never,
you?
never, ever I actually never ever present our show topics to my fiance, ever. But I always, every show, rehash with him after the show. So I'm always like, babe, you won't believe this wild stuff that somebody said. And he's like, wait, what? And, he'll mute his, if he's watching a documentary or whatever he's doing, he'll stop and he'll listen and we will like dialogue about some of the crazy stuff. So, or sometimes when it's something real crazy, I'll screenshot the minute mark in my phone so I can play it for him so he can actually hear it because it's going to be so wild. So I always rehash with him after the show, but I never talk about our topics prior to the show. I think that he would probably say he would not necessarily be in agreement with all the topics that we do. I'll just say
that. Okay. Um, is it hard for you guys to get like women on the show? Like, do you have to like give them a whole little disclaimer about like the manosphere? Like, what do you tell them to like prep them for like what they might encounter when they come on your channel?
Basically, if we're dealing with women that we know tend to be a bit more on the feminist side, we're gonna tell them that the space is definitely anti-feminist. Especially if it's just a little fun chick, whatever, you be like, hey, look, chick, look, sis, these guys are totally against feminism. Um, or even with men, because of course, we've had men on the show that, like the male feminists, we've had Paco on the show. And you have to tell them because you would hate for somebody to come to your platform and they get dogged out or dogpiled by a bunch of people that they don't know. And they've had their own ideologies about whatever for however long. And everybody attacks them because they think a certain way. So we always, always, always try to prep. I think we kind of got caught out there one time without prepping somebody, and
She
then we were
makes
like,
sure I do. Like every time
yeah,
she'll be like, wait a minute, did you tell them about this space? And I'll be like, oh shoot, I
yes.
forgot to mention. Yeah, she does.
All right, well, I'm gonna head out because I don't want to like take up too much time. But great interview. Salute to y'all all.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Thank
Leo.
you, Leo.
We appreciate you. Okay, so we have Game Changer up here. Hi, Game Changer. Game Changer?
Hey, how you doing, ladies? Salute to Leo. Thanks for coming
Hey,
up.
GC.
Hey.
Yeah, so my question is to Concrete Rose. You mentioned that feminists tend to be ugly. Could you give example, please? No,
Oh no,
not
I didn't
feminists,
say
but pygmies.
feminist.
Pygmies. You said
Pick me.
pygmies tend to
Yeah,
be ugly.
women. Yeah, women who are disingenuous about who they are and have to pretend. I wasn't talking about anyone in particular. If I give an example, you ain't gonna know who I'm talking about. If I say Keisha, it's not like you're gonna know who I'm talking about. I'm saying, in
The
my experience,
stereotypical
from what I've
Keisha is not a
noticed.
pygmy. She's downright repulsive.
No, I'm not talking. No, listen,
Oh,
game
you're saying
changer.
a
We don't
person
know
named
the
Keisha. I
same
got you.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm saying from my experience, the women that I've seen who are being disingenuous about what they believe in order to garner male attention are women that are unattractive. That's all. I wasn't talking about a specific person.
What I found is that, and this is dealing in pygmies in general, is that they tend to be extraordinarily more attractive than the women who call themselves, or excuse me, use pygmy as a pejorative. For example, women that call, say, Danica Marie a pygmy tend to be significantly less attractive than Danica Marie herself, as well as Stormy Maya. Now, the overwhelming majority of women in the world are less attractive than Stormy Maya. However, women tend to call her pygmies. She made a song about it. Amara La Negra, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Melanie, even. You know, pygmies are, generally speaking, more attractive than the women who are not pygmies. What I have found in my anecdotal research is that lowering the bar is the tactic of unattractive women. Here's what I mean by that. If you are
Yeah,
a
please elaborate.
unattractive woman, or aka a lesser woman, then what you do in order to level the playing field is to try to get other women to be as fucked up as you are, and then switch it and say, oh, you see how messed up this attractive woman is? Why don't you get with me? That is her tactic to compete with superior looking women. However, I just came up to say that pygmies are better women, and generally speaking, more attractive women.
Well, I was talking about from my personal experience, and I don't care if a person decides to be a pygmy or not. That's not my ministry personally.
Mhm.
Although I have been called a pygmy, I'm certainly not a pygmy. That's just simply not
When
my
you were called a
ministry. But I
pygmy,
do
was it
think
by
a
a woman who was
person,
less attractive than you?
it was by multiple women. So
Were they less
I
attractive
didn't
than
take a
you?
poll of all of their looks. I didn't take a
Well,
poll
you
of all
you
of their
know
looks,
you'll
then in
know an uglier chick
conversation
when
when
you
I'm
see one.
defending
As a
men.
woman, you know who's hotter and who's
Yeah,
not
but
her.
it's like in a space like Clubhouse, and somebody says pick me, and then other people agree. And so I'm not going to their profiles and seeing who all of these people are. But what my point in saying that is that if you like, the reason that I say pick me, because my definition of pick me is someone who's being disingenuous, not a woman who actually is male identified and or simply believes what the men like, whatever ideology she's spouting. If you truly believe that, to me, you're not a pick me. I think a pick me is someone who's pretending to be something she's not.
I don't. So you're saying that when a woman wants to be chosen by a man and you identify it as false, I don't know how that identification is made, but you identify it as false. You're saying that that's pick me, the lie of it.
No,
I
what I'm
think you're
saying
kind of
is
putting
that,
words
and
in
it's not
someone's mouth
something that I'm
too.
identifying. Yeah, I'm not even identifying it. Only they know if you're being disingenuous, or maybe people who know them. Like, I'm talking about a woman who has in the past said, has not spouted pick me rhetoric, and she is now maybe approaching the wall. So I'm just making a scenario up. Maybe now she's approaching the wall, and now everything that men say she agrees with, and she's also starting to regurgitate some of that same information in order to garner the attention of men. I'm talking about someone who's not
But
being their authentic
you just
self.
said there's no
Well,
way of knowing if they're actually being disingenuous. So
Then
how
I
do you know?
said,
exactly.
then I just said, unless you know them. After that, immediately after that, I said, unless you know them.
So do you know any of the women that you have called a pick me?
I don't call women
Who
pick
said
me.
she called anybody a pick
You
me?
don't you
What are
don't
you
you
talking
don't
about?
you don't personally know any of the women that you've ever called a pick me.
She's not. Who has she called a
I've
pick me?
never
Yes,
called a
that's
woman a pick me. What are you talking about?
right.
So you've never called, so you don't believe there are pick me's? I thought I just heard you say that there were pick me's. You just said that your idea of a pick me
We
is a
I
aren't
such and
do
such.
running
believe pick
around
me's
here calling
exist.
people pick
Okay,
me.
this is what I'm not about to do. I've never called a woman a pick me. I do believe pick me's exist. I've never identified one personally and said, "Oh, she's a pick me." That's it. That's all.
Okay,
So
but
there exists.
the women that you do acknowledge as pick me's, do you know them personally?
I'm I'm off of this, so I'm done answering questions surrounding that specific question.
Well,
Yes,
I mean, the reason why I was asking, I think the reason why the Village Arsonist is asking that is because you mentioned Keisha, who is a woman that we would not know of, that you would say is both unattractive and a pick me. So though she wasn't called that by you, she was identified as such by you. So I think that that's
I
why.
was making that up just as a name. I said if I just said someone, like if I say Keisha, for example, I wasn't saying this person really exists. Like, why are y'all making this into something that it's not?
I'm not
Because I
talking
don't.
about
Well,
We know
specific
here,
people.
here, here's
I'm not talking about specific
here's what I
we know
want.
what's up.
I want women to
I'm
understand.
speaking in general.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, I want women to understand that that there is no greater joy than you being beautiful and getting me a sandwich. And I don't like it when people associate pick-me-ism with ugly women. Ugly women are generally unpickable, and therefore they can't be a pick-me even if they tried. It's a failed attempt
Yeah, but you're
at
trying
greatness.
to
May I
impose.
interject that?
Oh my God.
May I
No, not
interject?
yet.
I got
Wait,
concrete
wait a
point.
minute.
wait,
What's your
wait.
opinion?
We're gonna go
Um,
on one at a time.
I think you guys are trying to project what you feel like we should feel off on us, or
All
Yeah,
I
how we
did
that's
was
feel
exactly
ask
what
about
I'm
you
saying.
things.
questions. I literally only asked you questions. That's it.
I would
Well,
like
No,
to.
no, I'm projecting it. I think that you should
Yeah,
feel
but
that
the
pick-me
question,
are
you created an
superior.
entire scenario around something I never said
that
or
she
led.
didn't even
No, no,
say
no, no. The
exactly.
scenario is that they're ugly. That was
Game
the
changer,
scenario
you missed the point.
well,
Yeah,
right quick,
but
Lassie.
and
The
it
scenario
really
was that they
is.
are
Like, that's the
ugly.
I
thing.
They are
said
not.
based on my experience. Yes,
Game
based on
changer.
my experience.
No,
Based
which
on
means
your
that you had
experience,
to
they're not.
identify
Let's
a
move
woman as a
on.
pick-me.
Game changer, you
I mean,
missed the
wait, right
point.
quick, Lassie.
Wait,
In your opinion, if it's in your experience, then you
Yes.
experienced an ugly pick-me.
You really
Meaning
are
that you.
ruining Melody's interview. Melody really
classy.
worked hard on this interview. Like, y'all gotta chill. Come on.
Wait, yeah, we're gonna do one at a time. And GC, you had anything else to say on that?
Yeah, I need people, particularly women, to understand the superiority of pygmies in the hierarchy of women. Women, it is incumbent upon every woman to do the best she can do in order to get picked by the best mate that she can be. Any woman who is doing less is derelict in her feminine duties. There is no greater joy for a woman to get picked. All women should be pygmies. All women should maximize their value to my penis and my belly. Period. Anything
Okay,
else?
but does that make sense to come for us like that when we both have men that we proudly serve and proudly uplift? I
Well, it
mean,
depends. Are you
we were
ugly?
picked.
Would you like it if somebody came
Whether we
across?
were ugly or not, we were
No, no,
picked.
no. Would you like it if somebody came across and said, because you are pick me's to your mates, you're ugly?
I wouldn't care.
Well, you should. I care. Why? Because I'm protective of pygmies.
The
GC,
thing
I think
is,
you were
what you're
saying
missing,
the other definition of pick me. It's two different definitions. It's yours and then it's
Yeah.
her
Please let
version.
me
exactly.
intervene
No,
And
this.
by
absolutely.
definition, and by
And he's
definition, if
missing
you're
it.
Oh, hey, let Classy the man speak. He wants to speak.
well, right quick, but by that, if your definition of something is different than mine, then that means you're wrong. That's what wrong means. It means having an opinion
Okay,
that's
so
different than game changers.
that,
Like
game changers.
But wow.
Game
You guys are
changers.
funny.
The thing that I'm
I
Oh,
mean, I
man.
can't believe
I can
y'all ruined
decipher
her
this.
I
interview
said
like
no,
this.
there's
This
nothing
is wild.
wrong.
Hold
There's
up.
nothing
I
wrong
got
with a
what
woman wanting to
Concrete
serve her
said.
man and a
Right,
woman
you're next,
being
Classy.
submissive and acquiescing to the leadership of her man. I'm talking about women who are being disingenuous in it.
Yes,
I.e.,
that's
that's
what
not
she's
who
saying. That's
that's
what I
not who they
got.
really are. So you're going to actually see who they truly are after being with them over some period of time. That's the point that I'm making. Like, why are you missing that?
She's
Right.
talking
So,
about deception game changer. I
Yeah, talking
caught
right,
about the
let's go to
that.
fake.
Classy. Okay, Classy, what is your opinion on that?
No, I was agreeing with Changer's analogy, but Concrete Rose made a valid point. She was talking about women who are deceptive, who are leading, that is going closer to the wall, and they will do everything they can, like a pygmy, just to get a man. I got what she said. Y'all missed that point.
Same here.
Yeah,
And I think it's more
now
than
I
just
get it.
women that are close to the wall.
Even women
Because
that are
It is, but that it could still be women that are still trying. They don't have to. That ain't the only reason that a woman would try like a desperate measure and be disingenuous to try to trick you into partnering with her before her true colors actually show themselves.
oh yeah, that's a fact.
yes, because and from what I've seen is from online when I see a lot of women call other women's pick me's is usually because they say, oh, they have this behavior or I do this. You as a woman don't do this, so something's wrong with you. Usually when I see women do that, that's when they get called pick me's. And my thing is women that do that, they're always single. So if you're doing all these things that people want, there's obviously something else wrong with you. That way you're never in a relationship.
Right. So for now, we're gonna leave the pygmy topic. Village arsonist, what is your question to the ladies?
Well, I'm not actually too familiar with their content. Like, are they feminists or like what are just like a brief breakdown? Like what exactly is their standpoint when it comes to like relationships? I'm
We
reading
are
in the
not
text, somebody said
feminists.
Concrete Rose has a white dude, so like is she
No, my God.
That's a joke.
what-
These are people
No,
who know me in the
but
States,
you
so
had a
that was
lot to
just a
say
joke.
on
We're
this the
not
other
feminists.
night. That's funny. But Village
We're
Arsonist, you
not
had
at
a
all
lot to say
feminist.
about us the
Go ahead.
other night. Yeah, you had a lot to say about us the other night. And you had a lot of energy for us, and I thought that was very interesting.
what energy did I have for you? What I was saying, I was asking, why don't women like you and Concrete Rose have the same exposure and successes of Jessica X?
Well, you just said you weren't very familiar with us, and then you came up asking were we
Right.
feminists or
That
whatever. So
doesn't.
then let me finish answering your question. If you say that you're not familiar with our content and then you don't understand why we don't get the exposure, then I would say familiarize yourself with our content and then see why we don't get the exposure. Because then you're saying you don't even know if we're feminist or where our stances are on relationships, but you said something totally different. So it gets to be a little confusing.
I mean, that's fair, but that still doesn't answer my concern. I'm just kind of wondering why. Basically, I was trying to get at the end of the day, when it comes to women, their sexual appeal matters when it comes to their success in social media, particularly YouTube. And I was trying to make that point. That's all I was
That's a
saying.
fair point. I don't necessarily disagree with that point. I don't feel like that's a bad point.
And in my opinion, you and Concrete Rose are not what I would consider attractive.
Yeah,
I'm just
that's
That's
your
going
a
to be
fair
opinion.
blunt.
You're
point.
entitled
I
to that.
mean,
You entitled to it.
yeah. Can you show us your picture and so we
I,
can
I
see
have
what we?
I have videos. I have videos.
Okay. Well, we'll go see, and then I could say whether or not we consider you attractive. It's okay.
That's fair enough.
Okay. Next.
Okay, yeah. Did you have anything else you want to say to them?
But Concrete, are you just real quick? I think one of your streams, I did catch one of your streams a while back. I tried to watch it. It's not nothing against you. I probably got busy or something, but I think you are. Aren't you part of the whole masculine mercenaries, angry man shit or whatever?
I
No,
knew he got
no,
him mixed up with.
not ever.
Mm,
No.
I knew it.
Okay, my bad. I thought you were with Angry Man. I thought you were kind of one of his supporters.
No, I don't even know how that confusion could happen, but no.
Yeah, remember I
Girl.
told you he got you mixed up with I don't want to say any names, but it's someone else who should be as big as Jessica X, I guess. I heard other guys saying it, but yeah, I'm not gonna say any names.
I don't even know if this is the Concrete Rose I was talking about. The Concrete Rose I'm talking about, she wears a hijab.
Baby,
That
I
is not
cannot,
what.
and I'm not finna do. Wow.
Is that the same one? Oh,
There
okay,
is
my
only
bad, my
one
bad.
Concrete Rose.
My bad.
Crimson
Okay, yeah, I got the names
Cure,
mixed
is
up. My
that?
bad, my bad.
Yeah, you got her mixed up with Crimson Cure, I think.
Yeah, that's my bad. That's my bad.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, no comment on that. I mean, she has really good commentary.
No, I
Um,
got the names mixed up. Crimson Cure and Concrete Rose. I got it mixed up.
yeah. So yeah, there you go. Let me see who else
Wow.
we have on the panel. 1 second. Okay, who came next? Risen, what's on your mind?
Hey, how you doing? I was just pretty much hopped up there for the pick me section, and if I hear anything else I want to comment on, I'll just do so.
Do you have anything else on the pick me issue? Or you just want to leave it alone?
Yeah, I'll just leave it alone. I say what I have to say on it because in my like I said earlier, from what I've seen, a lot of women who get called pick me's are the one that try to down other women for not doing something that they say they do. But at the same time, those women who are doing that, I tend to see that they're always single. So I'm like, if you're such a pick me, why are you always single? So they like I was saying, like there's obviously something else going on to the point where you're not in a in a relationship you want to be in. So that's what I see.
But we have a nickname for women that want to serve men. What's the nickname for these women like Crystal Swirls and the Pink Pill and these women that want to destroy black men and work against us? What's the nickname for them?
Arkham Asylum.
It's just amazing how we attack the women that want to actually cooperate with their men, but we don't ostracize these women out here talking about aborting black male babies. That's interesting.
I think I heard people do.
And I wasn't like attacking women that want to, that support men. I was just saying that women that from what I've seen, women that say they support their man, but also kind of shit on other women, saying like, "Oh, you should be doing this."
They're shitting on the women that should be shit on. They're shitting on the single
I get what you're saying.
out
I
here
get what
dating
you're saying.
thugs.
But my thing
Okay,
is,
so why are these women being insulted for telling the truth? Why?
Because like how y'all say the pick-me's are disingenuous. Those, in my opinion, those women who do that are disingenuous.
Why are we calling women pejoratives for telling the truth?
One person at a time.
And do y'all have any more questions for us? Because
yeah.
I have a couple of more people.
I have something to say to Sister George and Concrete Rose. Yeah, I just like to say, you're two very beautiful, very wonderful black women. You're examples of what all black women should be, and I'm really appreciative of the work that you do in these spaces, and just keep up the great work. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Why was I waiting for the other shoe to drop? Thank you.
That was
Girl,
I'm
me
like,
and
is
you
he
both.
trolling? Is he trolling?
Because we're single moms who got married in the witch child. Thank you so much. I'll take it though. I'm not mad. I'll take it.
Thank you, Smirgo. We appreciate it.
And Mel, what's on your mind?
I got advice for Miss Concrete Rose with the marriage part.
Mhm.
Oh, I don't need no marriage advice,
Oh
dear.
no. You do. See, let me hear me out.
Well,
I
Hear
definitely
me out,
not.
sweetheart. Hear me out.
I definitely do not.
Hear me out. Sorry, mic drop. All right. Now, I think you were saying about you wouldn't marry a guy if he said he wanted to marry you within 3 months or within a year and stuff, right?
That's not what I said. I
Something
said
similar to
that
that. This you could
that
recorrect
we would
me.
have a yes, I said that if a guy proposed to me after a year, we would have a long engagement. I've never seen a man rushing to the altar. I am engaged. My fiance is in the living room. He don't care when we get married. If we do it tonight or 10 years from now, he don't give a dang.
But what I'm
That,
saying,
that doesn't sound like he values you, man. With all due respect,
How does
because
that
when a
not
man
sound
really,
like he
when a man
values
wants to
me?
take
I
a
just
when a
hold
man
it.
values a
I
woman,
just
he wants to take her off the market. Period.
arsonist.
That's why
Stop
he
twisting what I'm
took
about
me
to
off the
say.
market,
Stop.
and
Let
that's why he
me
put a
answer.
ring on it
Yeah.
immediately. So what are you
Miss
talking
Rose, Miss
about?
Rose,
But you're not
Miss
married
Rose,
yet.
just ignore him. Just focus on me.
Because I'm not
No,
ready.
Miss Rose, just focus. Just focus on me. All right? Yeah. Just ignore him. It's me and you. All right? Now, that man says, baby, let's go right now and get married. I just want you to have my last name. And you know what I'm saying? I just want us to be married right now. We can have a wedding ceremony a year from now. Would you go do it?
If my fiance said to me that he wanted to marry right now, I'm not hung up on the fact about a marriage ceremony. I don't care about any of that.
Yeah.
I want my family to be present. So I would say, yes, we can get married. We don't have to have a big ceremony, which is what we're not having a big ceremony in the first place. But I would not rush off tonight and go get married. No.
So you're ready
But you
now,
wanna
but he keeps pushing out the date. That's interesting.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. That's not what I
You
said.
said if he wanted to
I
go
said,
now, you would go. That's what you just said. So you're ready to go right now.
no, I said I would not because my family is not here.
Oh, you said
but
you wouldn't go right now if he wanted to get married. Because I
Yes,
thought you just said you
yes.
would.
No, I said I would not. Wouldn't.
Concrete Rose, do you understand that you and him are trying to start a family? He leads the relationship. That's part of it. Even y'all might not have
He
your
wouldn't
family
have it
together
either
and
any
everything.
other way. He wouldn't have it any other way. He does lead
Why
the
would you get
relationship.
engaged to
being
someone that
Absolutely.
you
married or
don't
in
want
a
to get married
If
to?
you're
I
not,
don't
if,
understand.
I
but if
never
y'all want
said
to,
that I want to. What we not about to do is scrutinize Concrete Rose's relationship. That's what we not about to do. I'm happy. I am in a very good relationship. We've purchased a home. We're building a life together
But
already.
he has
We
not
do not
taken you off the
subscribe to.
market and given you
We do
his
not
name.
subscribe to state-sanctioned marriages. We do not subscribe
He
to
has
what you
not
guys would
taken you off the
consider
market
as.
and given you his name,
Village, I
man.
can't, I
These are
can't
He's
hear what
facts.
you're
ready whenever
saying, Village.
I'm ready.
Okay, okay, okay.
So
Okay.
Village
Miss Rose,
arsonist.
yeah,
Let's,
yeah.
yeah, please don't overtalk each other.
Yeah. What
When
you
I
saying?
finish.
What you saying, Concrete? What you saying? I can hardly hear what you
I
saying.
said he's ready whenever I'm ready. That's what I said. It's not that he does not want to take me off of the market. I'm a planner. I like things to
Then
be
why
planned.
the fuck
In
has he not
addition,
married you yet?
why
listen.
Okay,
are
What,
you
Village
actually,
using
Village
arsonist,
marriage
arsonist,
as a
man.
Village
reference?
No
arsonist, Village
disrespect, but
arsonist.
Village arsonist,
Yeah,
please shut
I'm
up.
not
Let her
answering
talk.
another question for you because, like, what you're not
Stop,
about to do is
stop.
sit up here
Let
and do
her
that.
talk.
You're
Exactly.
doing too much.
Yeah, everybody,
I'm
please.
sorry, Miss Rose. I'm sorry.
No yelling. Respect the platform. Respect one another, please.
I'm trying to
Thank
hear
you.
what she's saying. You can
Now,
repeat
what
what
were you
you're
saying,
I'm just,
Concrete?
I'm just, I'm just asking questions. That's all I've been
No,
doing.
yeah.
You
No,
ain't
shut
been
the
Can
yelling
you
at
arsonist
me,
down, man.
calling
stop?
me names,
Stop.
Shut
screaming
the
at
fuck
me and
up.
shit. I'm
Can
just
you,
asking
Mel,
questions.
calm
can you,
Now
down.
you pissing me
Mel, you're
off. I'm
being
trying to hear what the
cold.
woman's saying.
This
Mel,
Okay,
nigga's
please,
busting
Mel.
a vein
Okay,
over
hold on.
there.
calm
This
I'm
nigga's
so
down.
lost his
sorry.
Yeah, bust a
goddamn
vein.
Wait,
mind.
wait, wait,
Talk
wait,
your ass
wait.
right through this
Mel,
computer.
Mel, I'm
Mel,
gonna have to
calm
mute
down.
you.
Calm down.
Sorry, y'all.
No,
Mel, please.
no.
I want to
Sir,
hear.
sir,
I
Well,
you're
That's
fought.
being
right,
very
down boy. That's
condescending.
right,
Sir,
down
Listen,
sir,
boy. Down
I
boy.
fought
you're
Sit,
being
Concrete
sit,
Rose
condescending.
and
stay.
Sister
Good
Corey.
boy.
Can you
That's a
please?
good
Man, shut
boy.
the fuck up, man. You
All right.
pervert ass motherfucker. Your word.
All
Mel,
right.
stop,
That's it.
wow.
stop.
That's it. That's it. He had to go. I'm sorry, guys. What were you saying, Concrete?
I don't even remember Melody. I can't even tell you.
Wow.
It's very
Miss
sad
Rose,
because
I did not mean any offense. I didn't
sir,
mean any
but you're
offense,
being
Miss Rose. I did.
condescending. You have to let her talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mel, I
To be
apologize
completely
for putting
honest,
you down.
I just want to say, like, my relationship it does not. You guys don't get to critique my relationship in the space. I'm probably in a more happy and healthy
That
relationship
part.
than 90% of the people here. I
That
am
part.
not. I already have my wedding planned. We already have started wedding plans. We
Wait,
have a
wait, wait,
multitude
But
of
wait,
you
wait,
know
things.
what I
wait, wait.
find, but you
Yes,
know what I find to be even more
and I
interesting.
already
Wait,
had a
wait,
date that
wait,
has been
wait. You got the
changed.
date planned already all of a
I
sudden, but
had a date. I
What do
had
you
a
before
mean?
it
But
was
but
Sir,
wait
okay.
a
let
minute,
her
I
wasn't
did
this
just
talk.
have
the
a
same
date.
guy who said he didn't watch our content? And then
Person
let's
is, I
talk
don't know
about
what your deal is. Like I never said
girl.
I never once said that I did not have a date. I did have a date planned already. I never said that we have not started planning a wedding. What are you talking about? I don't know what agenda you're trying to push, but like you can't trick me up when it comes to my real life.
Ma'am,
This man is crazy.
you were asked if he were ready right now, would you go? That was your time to tell us. We've already said
Today,
it then.
no, he said if he was ready tonight. Ask him the
No.
question. He
Okay. All
specifically
right. All
said
right.
if he was ready tonight. That's what he said. What are you talking about? I don't have to prove nothing to you. I don't have to confirm to you
You
that I
don't.
already
You
have
don't
a
have to
date
prove
planned. What
anything
are
to
you
me.
talking
How
about?
you doing, Sister George? How are you? I'm not too familiar with you. I've seen you on Bernard Riley and stuff like that. So, I mean, but hey,
I think you're very
apparently
familiar
you're
with
well
us.
respected. You're well respected, and you're sorry.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you for that.
Um,
All right, guys. Classy, did you have any questions for them? And then I'm gonna shut down.
Oh, well, I wanted to ask Sister George a question. If correct me if I'm wrong, are you the one with the son?
Yes.
Well, when you had made that statement earlier, is he the nerdy type, quirky type of intelligent type of young black male?
I would say that he's probably a bit quirky.
Okay.
Um, he's not, I'm not gonna say he's all the way on like the quirky side because um so his dad is really, really into sports and stuff. So his dad is more of what's a good term? Like his dad would be more so on a bravado, and not even to say that his dad is dumb or anything like that, because his dad isn't dumb. His dad is
Right.
actually has a master's degree and he's a smart man.
Hmm.
I would say that his dad is really into sports, so his dad would be more macho, for lack of a better term, if that makes sense. And I think that he does gravitate to that energy. But I would say Curlin is more so like into computers and tech and stuff. And Solomon does like that aspect in of manhood as well. So I think he has a good
Do
mix
you
of both.
believe that educated black men like your son and his father are valued in this community?
No.
Thank you. Thank you for your honesty. I respect it.
Okay.
Thank you, Sister George. I was about to ask that question, but go ahead.
No, I don't think that y'all are valued probably until much later on down the line when everybody's kind of picked who they wanted to fuck and
And
fucked
do
whoever they
you
wanted to
think
have
this
sex with.
lack of appreciation for these productive, educated black men, do you think this has a lot to do with our current sad state as a race?
That's what I was going to ask.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for
Thank
the person
you.
in the comments calling my son's father isn't thuggish. He's actually a smart man, but if Curlin's not into sports, but my son's father is into sports, and that does make a difference in how they display certain traits of masculinity.
But Sister George, the question that I was going to get at also, in your opinion, do you think it's more of a race thing or just a culture thing within us?
I I think it is a culture thing because if you talk to even white girls do like a certain type of masculinity and they also gravitate to the bad boys in Western culture, I believe. We're taught to kind of gravitate to the bad boys. I do think women of other cultures think more about building with their men as opposed to, well, he ain't got on no Gucci shoes, so I don't like him, or his hair looks funny, so I'm not gonna talk to him because I don't like how his hair looks. And I think that we in Western culture, I think we focus more on the physical.
Now,
Well,
I do.
go ahead.
I think it's only fair to point out that there's different definitions of bad boy between Black American women and white American women. A white American woman's definition of bad boy is somebody who rides a motorcycle and gets drunk at a fraternity party.
Yeah.
And Black woman's definition of bad boy is somebody who shank a nigga in cell block 4.
Oh well,
GC, I gotta call GC. I gotta call you out because
Okay.
white women are the ones writing letters to motherfuckers like Ted Bundy, are they not?
Both black and white women are, yeah.
This
Well,
is
no,
true.
both black and white women.
I've never heard of any black women sending letters to troll men.
Me either, GC.
Well,
I've never heard
Come
of
on,
it.
stop playing.
Well, let's
I
say
have never
this.
heard of black women sending letters to
time.
niggas that are serial killers. Now
Because-
they
well, because
like
there
niggas
hasn't
in
been-
prison.
That's
You'd be surprised.
Serial
Okay, let's put
killers?
it like this. Let's put it like this.
There hasn't been many black male serial
right quick,
killers in
Clancy.
America. But go ahead.
If I may, that's because they don't really call murderous niggas serial killers. They just call them niggas. Like, so if you have that guy that, has had several drive-by shootings in his life, and, he does it over weed or whatever reason, they don't really call that guy a serial killer. They just call him, a gangster or something like that.
Granted, but
Yeah,
you are
so,
implying. And look, I love this. Listen, I love me some goddamn pink toes. But you were implying that white women don't do that.
No, what I'm saying is they have a different definition of bad.
How? When they are sending letters to serial killers, bro.
You're
The
talking about
fact is, there's different definitions for them.
No, right quick. Now I got it. You're talking about one killer. You're talking about one killer that
This is quite. This happens all the time. Don't play with me.
Really? How many?
You got white women marrying serial killers and shit on death row and shit.
I'll bite. So, how many serial killers get letters like that?
How many Ted Bundys exist?
This is a well-known issue.
Yes, a well-known issue.
On death row, these serial killers, they receive hundreds of letters from women around the country.
Okay.
No. Right quick. Serial killers are generally individuals.
This was supposed to be about serial killers. This was if y'all have any questions for me in concrete.
Well, I wanted to say that I wanted to go back to Sister George, but I wanted to say one thing. I wanted to commend her for actually having an open mind about her son dating other women, based on the fact of how our culture is going. I do commend you that because majority. I'm talking to her. Please be quiet and be respectful.
Yeah, let's do one at a time. Everybody, please.
Please be respectful.
Thank you.
With that being said, Sister George, I was saying most cultures of no matter where you are would love for their people to marry their own people. That's just natural. I just wanted to say I commend you for that. I just want to say I congratulate you for being open-minded.
Thank you. I would love for him to marry a black woman, but if that's not his best options, then I want him to utilize his best option. So that's not his best option.
Thank you very much, Sister.
Deep down, that's not his best option. You just admitted he's not appreciated in this community. So this community is not his best option.
Sir.
Yo, y'all just came here to attack the ladies, man.
Who was attacking anybody, dude? Sit your
What y'all doing? I'm seeing
bro.
No, Melanie, I'm gonna calm down. Do it for you, Melanie. I'm gonna calm down right now.
Everybody calm down. This is about Sister George.
He is literally the only one screaming.
Let Melanie handle it.
Everybody, please stop screaming. I want to hear more from. Let Sister George answer the question. I don't even remember what the question was because of all the yelling. I'm sorry. What was the question?
Jesus Christ.
The question was, do you feel that collectively black women are the best choice for your son?
Collectively, in my overall heart of hearts, that's not really a determination that I'm going to be able to make at this point right now because my son is 9 years old. If we're talking about little girls being raised up, like you have women that are entering into the manosphere who do believe in the same talking points, who do believe in a lot of the rhetoric, and we do believe in strong families. Now, if we have those women who are coming up or who are actually being more vocal with each other and we're raising communities, then absolutely, I would love for my son to be with a black woman. I would love for that. But at this day and age and how we've seen men being treated in our community, especially if they were about their books and not in the streets. We've seen how that's played out. Um, if my son does end up with a white girl and that white girl treats him better than a black woman would treat him, then I want what's best for my son. I want him to be happy. I think I want what's going to make him the happiest. If you're asking me a question like, do I think black women are black women good enough for him, or should black women date him, or should he date black women at whatever point? If that's what's going to make him happy, then that's what's going to make him happy. Do I think the odds are in his favor at this point right now? I think the odds will be in his favor to do whatever he wants by the time we get to his age group, for when he does start to date. So yeah, that's
Thank
all
you,
I'm
Sister
Well,
George. I
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
Sister George, let me just, before we go, let me ask the guys a question. Would you allow your black daughter to date out with a white man?
Who wants to
yeah.
take this? I'll wait. Whoever goes first, I'll wait.
I know Sister George would have wanted to ask that, so yeah.
Would I let, would I
I'll
let her?
answer
What
first.
do you mean? Like, am I tying her down, making her not do it? Am I disowning her if she does it? Like, what do you mean?
I'll answer first. So pretty
Go
much
ahead, Sister George. How
just
should
how
we? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
just how they just answered for when it comes to their son. With my daughter, would I want her to be with a black man? Yes, of course. But at the end of the day, if she can't find a good enough black man that fits my standards, I will not have a problem with her going outside of the race and finding someone that fits my standards for her. So I have no problem with it. But I prefer
So you're
her
a
to be with a
so
black
you're a
person.
cuckold. You're a cuckold.
How?
Melody, please get him out
How?
of
Melanie,
here.
please get this motherfucker out, man. Please, man.
Oh, cause okay, so you got a problem because someone disagrees with you when you want to date out, but you won't let your daughter date
No, I
out.
didn't
Make
say
it make
that.
sense.
I didn't say that.
See
But
where this
Okay,
is
So why do you
going?
have a
given the
problem?
history
Put
of
his
our
goofy
people in this
clown man, yo.
country,
Yeah.
given the
okay, so
history of our people in this country, you would have no problem with a white man fucking your daughter? Really,
I know the
nigga?
history of our country,
None
but
of
the
us
same
were
thing with the
born during
history of our
slavery.
country. Why would you want to go out and go fuck a white woman then? Make it make sense.
What? Repeat that,
Okay,
please.
so if you're saying the history of this country, why would you want my daughter going out with a white man? So with the history of this country, why would you want to go out and go be with a white woman at the same time? Then it doesn't make any sense. It's not different just because you're a man, bro.
That's not true. And you know that.
Okay,
And you know that. You know
okay,
that's not true.
okay.
You know that's not true. You know that's not true. You know that's not true.
So you telling me
As
you
a
wouldn't want what's
male,
best
you
for your
know it's not the same, dude. You know that. And I don't think we have time to get into it. Melody said she
okay?
wanted to close down.
So
But
you're
you know
okay,
that's
saying
bullshit.
so you're saying you wouldn't want what's best for your daughter, even if it's not being
I
what you
would
want for her.
not be okay with my daughter being with a white male. No, I would
okay,
not
so
be
that's
okay
your
with that.
answer. How
Okay,
about
that's your answer. Thank
how
you.
about
Okay.
you, Game Changer? If you had a daughter, would you want her to get with a white man?
I wanted to get with the best man possible, and if he so happens to be white, I wouldn't care.
Okay,
Um,
how about? Oh, go ahead.
no, I was going to ask Sister George a question, but if you have others you want to ask that question, that's fine.
Well, yeah. Let me just finish asking that question real quick. How about you, Mel? Would you let your
Yeah,
black daughter date a white man?
I have no problem. That's like Game Changer said. I want to find the best man
You
possible.
guys are fucking pathetic.
Shut the hell up, man!
Mel,
No,
Mel,
please.
Anyway, I got shit to do. Thanks
Mel,
for
you
the
gotta
No,
panel,
control
no
Melody.
yourself.
You
All
yelling.
guys
right,
are
y'all.
good.
Cannot
All right.
believe that you guys actually got up here and ruined her interview. I'm floored by it. She took a lot of time to put this interview together, and for you guys to get up here and ruin it is absolutely positively just ridiculous. You
Yeah, put
guys
the
ought
men
to
in
be
the
ashamed of
place.
yourself.
Mel,
But
personally, I didn't ruin anything.
yeah, I know. But Sister George, I do want to ask. You said that now is the time to get serious. When do you think that at what age do you think that women should actually start taking the marriage situation seriously?
I would think that as soon as possible. So
Like
that
18?
even as soon as possible. And I'll give you my own example. When I was 22, I was proposed to. And my grandmother was actually encouraging me to get married. And I didn't feel like I was ready because I was like, well, I'm in the military and I'm making my own money. And I want to go out and see the world. And, you kind of want to be on some hot girl shit when you're younger. And this is kind of pushed to you and to a certain degree. Now, I had my grandmother who had one message, but I also had my friends who had different messages. And my friends, of course, would be like, girl, no, don't settle down. Like, it's still so much fun stuff out here to do. And so then I still ended up becoming a single mother, which was never the plan for my life. And so when you understand family and the importance of family and the importance of having a family structure and a good, strong family structure, then I do think that that's important. So when chicks do turn 18 or whatever ages, so they won't have a lot of miles on them, then I do think that it does need to be the focus as early as possible.
So, do you feel that culturally speaking, Black women, you know, take it serious as early as possible, or do you think that that's
No,
definitely okay?
no, we are about a hot girl summer and pushing
20-year
women
hot
to
girl
the
summer.
say again.
I said about a 20-year hot girl summer,
You
right?
are absolutely right. Because when we're in school, you're told to pledge or you're told to come to this party and to hang out at this party. You can study or you can build a career, but men aren't getting a husband isn't necessarily the focus.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we
So,
have
Melly, I wanted
Brown.
to answer your question earlier. Before I was interrupted by the goofy clown man that just got booted off.
What's your answer?
Yeah, yeah. I don't care. Just like Game Changer said himself, I don't care what ethnicity my daughter choose to be a husband. I want her to choose the best man as possible. That being said, I will teach her the game also too from the red pill perspective, the reality. Choices come with trade offs. So you got the. I want her to play the best possibility to get with the highest top tier man as she can and stuff. Hopefully, her mother choose will teach her the elegant side of a woman should be, how to be a wife. Also, too, I will give her to advice from the man's perspective. And that's what I want to say. That's what I want to say.
Okay, Mel, thanks for that. So we just got
Thank you.
Bronzebird on the panel. You can go ahead and give your commentary, and then we're gonna have closing thoughts.
Oh, damn.
Um,
I came at the end.
yeah, but what's on your mind? You have any questions for Sister George?
Um, I'm trying not to make my question seem like a helmet question, so I'm really trying because it sounds random, but I'm gonna try to get it out. Well, first of all, my thing is with Sister George and Concrete Rose, I think their plan usually works because they usually have content that just have a lot of these helmets or regular dudes coming on panel, and then they argue with the other people and stuff like that. So definitely a noteworthy show. I always laugh when I watch, so it's dope. Um, so I guess my idea with Sister George and C Rose about the direction of y'all show, like, what do you hope to see in your journey with whatever it is the topics you come up with? Are you hoping to see that there are more women and men that think in unison, or do you feel as if like it's just the way that you have it now is like pretty much clear. Like there's no changing it, or do you see anything else happening on your journey with the breakdown?
Um, okay. You asked like where do I see the future of our show,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um, yeah, I see us doing really, really big things in the future. Um, I mean, it may not look like a whole lot now, but establishing a strong foundation has been important for the both of us. Like always wanted to have a really good, strong foundation. Being that we feel like we're getting it out the mud. Um, like I said, I see us doing big things with a solid foundation in the future. Do I see men and women? Did you say do I want men and women to get along or
I mean, like have conversations or have like panels where you guys really usually like think in unison, like it's usually not just some
I,
argument
I
fest.
don't necessarily want us to think in unison as opposed to understanding the plight of the black man.
Hmm.
Um, I would want us to allow our men, and allow is a horrible word, but I want black men to be in positions of leadership to lead us. And like I said, I don't mind taking L's when it comes down to our talking points and stuff that we present on our channel, especially if we're in a male dominated space and if the men have better talking points for them to be in first place in our community as opposed to it being a matriarch.
All right,
Um,
cool.
so that's where I'm at with it.
Just for entertainment purposes, and I'm gonna drop down after this. SG, would you allow more male feminists on your panel?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Melody, check your PC.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna drop down. Peace, chiefs.
You. Thanks for coming up, Bonsberg. Okay, so any final things to say to Sister George before you guys well, actually we're gonna start with Mel. What's your final words to Sister George?
Is that me?
Yes.
Oh, no, you said Menno or something. I thought you said.
I said Mel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that means Sister George and there's Concrete Roses up here. I'm sorry that we got interrupted in our questions and everything. I wasn't sound like I was attacking her either too. So I hope
She had to go. It
yeah, I
wasn't.
know. Yeah, so she listens later. Yes, definitely. So like I said, it was a good interview. So the other clown man came up and ruined it. Wanted to attack them on purpose, but don't let fools like that, Sister George. Like that. Do what you do and everything. Yeah, I do like some of your shows. Yeah, I've seen some of them. My favorite was the panel with the feminists you had with Shante Simone. Also, I think Jessica S was on there also too. I had that panel. It's one of my favorite topics that you had definitely. But keep doing your thing, Sister George. And you two Concrete Rose will be listeners later.
Thank you so much.
Definitely.
Really appreciate it.
All right. So next time, Melanie, you for having me up. Apologize again. You know how I am.
It's cool. Thanks for coming, Mel. We do appreciate you, even though you did kind of get out of line, but it's cool.
Well, it wasn't me. I was trying to actually stop the other fools from getting out of line. That's the problem.
Everyone was getting out of line, but I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for that. Okay, we're gonna
till this time.
Bye. Next, we're gonna have Risen. What are your final questions or words to Sister George?
I didn't have any more final questions. Thank you for just having me. I didn't know you guys had a channel. I'll definitely go check it out. Hope channels do very well in the future. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Risen.
Okay, classy young man, what's your final words to Sister George or questions?
Well, I have nothing else to say to Sister George, and this is not a disrespect. I had my question answered and interrupted. I apologize to you, Melody. But also, I wanted to say that Sister George, you're doing a great job. Agree to disagree. We still can be respectful towards each other. And that goes for everybody else that was on this panel. We should have conducted ourselves a little bit better because Melody did put in the work to make a great interview. And with that being said, I want to say one thing about us as Black people. We have got to get our mindsets away from this white. We don't live in that world no more. The world is a lot bigger than what we keep talking about, white and black. We need to stop that. All right, y'all have a good one.
True. Thank you.
Thank you, classy young man.
And Game Changer, any final words to Sister George or questions?
No, thanks for having me. I had all the questions that I have for Sister George, and I appreciate it.
All right, well, thanks for coming.
Join movie night if y'all interested. I'll put the Zoom link in the chat room.
Yeah, I pinned the Zoom link already, so it's pinned. Cool. But also drop it in the link for them, and also if you can, drop Sister George channel in a link. So if you guys haven't subscribed to Sister George already, make sure you subscribe. I'm telling you, her and Concrete have one of the best channels on the Manosphere. And yeah, I said it. I'm sorry, guys. I just love their channel. I mean, I'm sure your channel's good too, but check it out. Her channel's awesome. Also, join movie night. The link is pinned, and also Game Changer is gonna drop it in the chat. Here is Sister George channel, guys. I want everybody now to subscribe if you're not already. And also Saturday, I will be having a celebration for making it to 1K. Thank you so much. I couldn't have done it without you guys. So make sure you guys are there. I don't really know what time I'm having the celebration, but just look out for that. All right, guys. Thank you. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.